दोस्तों नमस्कार। आज हम एक बहुत दर्दनाक हादसे के बारे में डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं, जिसमें दिल्ली पुलिस के एक इंस्पेक्टर मोहन चंद शर्मा शहीद हो गए थे, जब वो आतंकवादियों को पकड़ने के लिए जामिया मिलिया के बाटला हाउस में गए थे। मोहन चंद शर्मा को बाद में मरणोपरांत अशोक चक्र से सम्मानित किया गया। इसके एनकाउंटर में हमारे राजनीतिज्ञों ने जो हमेशा करते हैं, उन लोगों ने काफी रोटियां सेकने की कोशिश की। मीडिया ने बहुत कुछ गड़बड़ किया। मैंने इस टॉपिक को इसलिए चुना है कि जिससे आम जनता को यह मालूम पड़े कि पुलिस ऑफिसर्स या मिलिट्री वाले या फॉर दैट मैटर कोई भी गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट जब अपनी ड्यूटी को ईमानदारी से करता है और उस ईमानदारी से ड्यूटी निभाने के चक्कर में कभी कभी उसकी जान भी चली जाती है, तो भी राजनीतिक लोग उसमें राजनीतिक फायदा उठाने के लिए पुलिस फोर्स को या मिलिट्री फोर्स को किस तरीके से बदनाम करते हैं। जैसे कि जम्मू कश्मीर में आपने देखा है कि जम्मू कश्मीर में आए दिन वहां पर मिलिट्री के ऊपर पत्थरबाजी होती थी, पुलिस के जवानों को किडनैप करके मार दिया जाता था। जब मिलिट्री वालों ने उनके खिलाफ एक्शन लिया तो ह्यूमन राइट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आगे आ गया कि अरे वो तो बच्चे हैं, थोड़ा सा बरगलाए हुए हैं, बिगड़े हुए हैं, पथभ्रष्ट हैं, उनको क्यों आप ऐसा कर रहे हो वैसा कर रहे हो। ऐसे ही कहीं पर भी अगर एक पर्टिकुलर कम्युनिटी का कोई भी जिहादी या टेररिस्ट अगर कहीं पर किसी भी तरीके से पुलिस के हत्थे चढ़ गया तो पूरा मीडिया और लेफ्ट लिबरल गैंग लिब्रांडू सारे के सारे रंडी रोना शुरू कर देते हैं। तो इसी परिप्रेक्ष्य में मुझे कई दिन से ये याद आ रहा था कि जैसे देखिए अतीक अहमद को जब मारा और उसके भाई को जब मारा तो हमारे एक प्रदेश के उप मुख्यमंत्री ने उनको अतीक जी बोला। वहां के मुख्यमंत्री ने उसके बारे में दुनिया भर का सवाल उठाया कि ऐसा है वैसा है, यहाँ तक कि वो रजाकारों का एक सरदार जो है हैदराबाद में बैठा हुआ, उसने भी बोला कि नहीं ये गलत है, वो है, ऐसा है वैसा है। अभी 4 दिन पहले अनिल दुजाना को जब मारा गया एनकाउंटर में, तब किसी भी पत्रकार की, किसी भी लेफ्ट लिबरल की, किसी भी सेकुलर बंदे की आवाज नहीं खुली। तो इस टॉपिक को शुरू करने से पहले मैं अपने पैनलिस्ट को ऊपर ले लेता हूं, जिसमें हमारे एडवोकेट मजूमदार साहब हैं जो कलकत्ता से जुड़ रहे हैं, इंटू साहब हैं जो रेगुलर हमारे दाहिने बाएं हाथ सभी कुछ हैं, जय भारती साहब हैं जो अमेरिका से जुड़ रहे हैं। हम इनको ले लेते हैं और फिर इसके बारे में आगे बढ़ते हैं। दादा नमस्कार।
नमस्कार सर, नमस्कार जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
प्रदीप जी नमस्कार।
नमस्कार वीबी दादा, एम दादा और जय दादा को भी।
जय भारती साहब नमस्कार।
प्रणाम वीबी दादा, प्रणाम एम दादा, दादा प्रणाम जी। ठीक है, प्रणाम।
आज का टॉपिक कैसा है?
बढ़िया दादा, इस टॉपिक के साथ में कई और टॉपिक लिंक होंगे, ठीक है, जहाँ जहाँ जिस जिस तरीके से ये टेररिस्ट मारे जाते हैं और ये रोना पिटना चालू कर देते हैं, काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें समझ लो। ये उसके लिए एक कहते हैं ना एग्जाम्पल है, ये एक उसका कहते हैं उस टाइप की आइडियोलॉजी का प्रत्यक्षीकरण है कि बहुत सारे ऐसे इंसिडेंट होते हैं उन पे ये रोना पिटना चालू करते टेररिस्टों पे जाके। तो वो जो है उसके लिए एक आपने इशारा दे दिया कि इस तरीके के केस होते हैं, तब ऐसे रिएक्ट करते हैं ये लोग।
दादा
एक किताब है जो उस समय ज्वाइंट कमिश्नर ऑफ पुलिस थे कर्नल सिंह, बाद में एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट के वो डायरेक्टर भी बने थे, उनकी किताब के कुछ अंश शेयर करता हूँ और मैं निवेदन करूंगा मजूमदार दादा से कि इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा पढ़ें और बताएं कि ये क्या है। मैं पहले वो पेज ढूंढ लूं, उसके बाद में फिर वहीं पर पूछता हूँ।
जी सर।
दादा जब तक आप ये किताब शेयर करते हैं मैं ऐड कर दूं, आपने कहा ना कि एक रंडी रोना होता है, जैसे राजस्थान में एक वो प्रोफेशनल मोर्नर्स होते हैं जिनको रुदाली कहते हैं, ये दे आर प्रोफेशनल मोर्नर्स, ये है सिलेक्टिव रुदाली, क्या कहते हैं इसको, मैं लॉस्ट माय थॉट, ये सिलेक्टिव रुदाली वो हैं, ये छाती पीटने वाले।
अरे साहब, हमारे फोर्सेस का ये लोग पूरा मोरल डाउन कर देते हैं। इनके रोने से कोई भी, मतलब सोचिए ना कि उसके घर में क्या बीतती होगी जो ये सब कर रहा होता है, और जब उसके ऊटपटांग ये सवाल उठाते हैं तो फिर क्या, मतलब उनके घर वाले भी क्या सोचते होंगे। ये है करनाल सिंह, 1984 बैच IPS ऑफिसर एंड इंजीनियर फ्रॉम दिल्ली कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड IIT कानपुर, has over 34 years of experience in the investigation of corruption, terrorism, money laundering and criminal case in Delhi Police Special say he spearheaded the investigation of the 2008 Delhi blast case which led to the Batla House encounter. He is recipient of President Police Medal for Distinguished Services and Police Medal for Meritorious Service. ये देखिए, in honor of Mohan Chand Sharma and the countless unsung heroes who have lost their life fighting against terrorism. मतलब पढ़ो इसको।
जी सर। Prologue, 19th of September 2008. I was at the Delhi Police Office. I was at the Delhi Police Special Cell office in Lodi Colony. I looked at my watch. It was 10:45 a.m. Two teams were on their way to Batla House. Delhi had witnessed a devastating terrorist attack 6 days ago on 13th of September by a terror outfit called the Indian Mujahideen. The explosions in heavily crowded public places had claimed 22 lives and injured 131 people. Special cell teams had been working night and day since then to gather intelligence and trace the perpetrators. Our investigation and surveillance leads had raised suspicion on a particular resident of flat number 108 L18 Batla House. We led our teams there that day to search and investigate further. At around 11 a.m., my phone rang. It was a call from Inspector Mohan Chand Sharma, who was leading the first team. "Sir, we are going right in," he said. "All the best," I replied and kept the phone down. The next few minutes dragged on as I anxiously waited to know if we had found the suspected terrorists. Meanwhile, shots being fired were heard in the Batla House area. Around 10 minutes after Mohan's call, my phone rang again. Assistant Commissioner of Police Sanjeev Kumar Yadav was on the line. He spoke in a tearful voice. "Sir, Mohan and Head Constable Balwant Singh have been shot and have sustained bullet injuries." I was shocked. "What happened? Where are they?" I asked. Sanjeev replied that they have been shifted to the hospital. He mentioned that terrorists were also injured and were inside the house. I replied on the call, "Sanjeev, we have to catch them alive. They are the key. I'm on my way. I'm also requisitioning additional force." "Yes, sir," Sanjeev said. No shots were heard in Batla House. Eye to an eye. The dust will never settle down. 13th of September 2008. 6 days before the Batla House shootout. It was a quiet Saturday at home. I was engrossed in reading a book on science fiction. The television was playing in the background. Chai chahiye? You want some tea? My wife Renuka asked me. I replied with a distracted me. She went into the kitchen and I resumed reading. A few minutes later, she came back with tea. My son, Archit, who was 13 years old at that time, came running to me with a notebook and a pencil in his hand. Papa, can you help me with this math problem? He said, pointing to his notebook. I kept my book aside and started questioning him on the basics of math to gauge how much he had already understood and the areas where he needed my help. I didn't get to spend enough time with my family on weekdays, so I cherished whatever little time I got with them over the weekend. My daughter Shruti and Kritika My daughters, Shruti and Kritika, were already in college and we spoke more over the phone than in person. I patted my son's head as he sat on the floor and attempted to solve the problems. Just then my phone started ringing. Who can it be on a Saturday evening? I wondered. I picked up my phone to see the name of a journalist flashing on the screen. Hi Vishal, name change. I answered the call. Sir, there's been a blast in Karol Bagh. Just then my landline started ringing too. I was also getting another call on my mobile. It was from the police control room. Let me call you back, Vishal. I have a call waiting. I disconnected the call, hearing the words. I took the call from the PCR. There were indeed an there was indeed an explosion in Karol Bagh a few minutes ago. I told the PCR that I was leaving for the blast site. Have the special teams been informed? Yes, sir. We are alerting all senior officers and field units as per protocol. My wife was getting a bit anxious. क्या हुआ? सब ठीक है? What happened? Is everything okay? There's a report of a bomb explosion in Karol Bagh. I'm going there now, I replied. I called out to the driver to get ready to leave. I quickly put on a shirt as I answered a barrage of calls. Is anyone hurt? My wife asked me, worried. I don't know yet. I will speak to you later, I replied as I got into the car. Oh, where's Shruti? I asked. Our Shruti, our eldest daughter, was in the third year of fashion designing at the National Institute of Fashion Technology, Delhi. She is working on some project with her friends. After that, they will go to Lajpat Nagar or Nehru Place. I'm not exactly sure. To buy some fabric, my wife replied. Call and check on her and ask her to come home immediately. Okay, be safe, my wife added and waved me goodbye. On my way, I spoke to Sri Yadvir Singh Dadwal, Commissioner of Police, over the phone to discuss the course of action. He told me that he had already declared a red alert in the whole of Delhi. I passed on the message. I passed on the message to the police stations through the PCR, instructing them to immediately deploy manpower in the hospitals where the injured were being taken. The police was asked to look for any vehicle that was left unattended. Unattended.
10 मिनट, हाँ ये क्या है? नहीं हो रहा है इसमें, 1 मिनट रुको, मैं इसको कम कर दूं। ये क्या हो गया?
हाँ ठीक है, आ गया सर. The police was asked to look for any vehicle that was left unattended in the vicinity of the hospital. I coordinated with the special cell officers to discuss which team members were to be engaged and assign tasks to them accordingly. I had joined as the head of the Delhi Police Special Cell, first as Additional Commissioner in January 2004 and continued after my promotion as Joint CP in June 2004. In recent years, the Special Cell had tracked many important cases of terrorism during the bomb explosions in Liberty and Satyam Cinema and the Diwali blasts of 2003. The department is credited with arresting more than 200 dreaded gangsters and 140 terrorists, neutralizing 20 terrorists from various terror modules, preventing several attacks, and neutralizing 56 criminals during my stint in the special cell. The special cell of the Delhi police is the specialized unit that deals specifically with counter-terrorism. Its origin is linked to the growth of terrorism in India. The late 1970s saw the growth of terrorism in Punjab, and the late 1980s saw the beginning of jihadi terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, which later spread.
जस्ट मिनट वही है.
नहीं सर,
एक मिनट ये बड़ा हो गया तो छोटा करना कैसे?
आगे which later spread to other parts of the country. Before the special cell was constituted, the crime branch of the Delhi police was investigating terror-related cases, besides investigating other serious criminal offences. New Delhi houses the Parliament, the Rashtrapati Bhavan, that is the President's official residence, the Prime Minister's residence and office, foreign embassies, vital installations, and iconic places. A number of VIPs also stay in Delhi. Any successful attempt by terrorists in Delhi gives them international media publicity. It was of utmost importance to have better intelligence collection on terror to prevent any such attack in the capital. Therefore, there was a need to have an agency that could specifically deal with the prevention and investigation of terrorist activities in Delhi. Keeping this in mind, the Ministry of Home Affairs, by its order dated 12 September 1988, formed a special unit to be called Special Cell in the Delhi Police. The Special Cell had 3 field units, one located in Lodi Colony, the second in Rohini, and the third in New Friends Colony. The officers posted in the Special Cell are handpicked and completely devoted to their missions, often working round the clock. They are driven solely by the aim of developing counter-terror intelligence and cracking terror cases. There is no concept of weekends or holidays or working hours. They take a break only after the assigned case is solved. Till then, they live, breathe and work on the cases they are assigned to. Even the sun completes its day's journey at dusk, but the journey of a special cell officer is never ending. It continues incessantly from one case to another. On the day of the blast, the special cell officers were listening into interceptions and planning strategic intelligence collection for several ongoing cases. One of the most important missions was being planned at that time was in Jammu and Kashmir. Inspector Mohan Chand Sharma, a veteran in anti-terror operations, was having a discussion with Sub-Inspector Rahul Kumar Singh about the intelligence output received by the special cell team deployed at Pathankot, Punjab. Mohan had been working in the special cell since 1998. He was an extremely brave and intelligent officer who was part of numerous operations. He had neutralized 35 terrorists and 40 gangsters during his tenure of 10 years. He had arrested 80 terrorists and more than 100 dreaded criminals. He was a recipient of the President's Police Medal for Gallantry and he also received 6 police medals for gallantry. He also had an out-of-turn promotion to his credit. He had a quiet and serious demeanor and was respected by his team members. Rahul, a diligent and technology-savvy officer of the 1994 batch, was posted in the special cell in 2002 and was generally assigned the investigation of important cases as he was skilled at conducting field operations. He had received 2 gallantry medals and 1 out-of-turn promotion for his outstanding performance. I had deployed a team of officers in Jammu and Kashmir to intercept terror-related calls so that they could act against the terrorists based on these interceptions. The deployment had helped the special cell in nabbing and neutralizing many Kashmir-based terrorists before they could strike. However, this move of the special cell became a bone of contention between the Delhi police and the government of Jammu and Kashmir. The government of Jammu and Kashmir made a complaint to the Home Ministry demanding to move the Delhi police team out of Jammu and Kashmir. Following this, the team was shifted from Jammu and Kashmir to Pathankot. This special team had got the interception relating to some movements of terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir. Mohan asked Inspector Sanjay Dutt to immediately move to Pathankot along with the team. They were planning for their trip to Jammu and Kashmir when the office received information of the blast in Karol Bagh. Mohan immediately activated the special cell control room to deploy officers and teams. Sanjay, a brave and intelligent officer, had worked on several terrorist cases in the special cell for the last 10 years. He had acquired a vast knowledge of the Jammu and Kashmir-based terrorist groups and terrorist organizations of the northeastern states, particularly Manipur. He had received 2 police medals for gallantry and also an out-of-turn promotion. I had not even reached Karol Bagh when I received another call from the PCR informing me of another blast in Connaught Place, more commonly known as CP, another heavily crowded and one of the most popular marketplaces in Delhi. How many more could there be, and which other areas could be targeted? I tried to think of the other places that were easy targets. Usually, terrorists target crowded places such as markets or religious places in order to inflict maximum damage to life and inculcate fear in people's minds. Following the explosion at Connaught Place, the police was instructed to check dustbins throughout Delhi as the bomb there was, there was planted in the dustbins. The wireless cracked with information on 3 more blasts by 6:35 p.m., taking the total count to 5. 2 bombs had exploded at Greater Kailash M Block Market, one at Central Park, one at Barathamba Road in Connaught Place, and one at Karol Bagh. I had also instructed Ravi Shankar, Assistant Commissioner of Police of Special Cell, and Sanjeev Kumar Yadav, ACP Special Cell, to rush to the blast sites with the teams. Ravi, a 1982 batch officer of the Delhi Police, had solved many cases of terrorism and international criminal gangs and had arrested more than 100 terrorists of different outfits. He had 3 work stints with me, one in the Northwest District, second in the crime branch, where he was instrumental in working out the 42 blast cases of 1996-98, and third in the special cell. He was heading the Rohini office of the special cell at that time. He got 2 out-of-turn promotions, one from being sub-inspector to inspector in 1989, and the second from inspector to assistant commissioner of police in 1995 for his outstanding performance. He had received the President's Police Medal for Distinguished Service and President's Police Medal for Meritorious Service. Sanjeev, an officer with a commendable track record, had been handpicked by me to head the Lodi Colony unit of the special cell. He joined the special branch where he was instrumental.
So, he joined now.
He joined the special cell in 2004. He had taken part in dozens of shootouts with hardcore interstate criminals and terrorists in Delhi and other states, including Jammu and Kashmir. He had been awarded 2 gallantry medals. I made a mental note of the other officers from the special cell who were needed on this case, as the experience would be invaluable. I called Alok Kumar, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Special Cell. Alok was on leave to visit Vaishno Devi with his family. Alok, come back immediately. There have been several blasts in Delhi. Alok had a stellar service record. He had 2 work stints with me, one in the crime branch and the second in the special cell. He had handled more than 100 successful operations in which notorious and dreaded gangsters as well as terrorists were arrested. He is a recipient of the President Police Medal for Meritorious Services and the United Nations Medal for Service with the United Nations Mission in Bosnia, Karol Bagh. At about 5:55 p.m., a powerful explosion had rocked the busy Karol Bagh market in North Delhi. Many calls had started pouring into the PCR and within minutes, the entire police force was activated for response. People who had called the PCR number 100 described hearing a deafening sound and seeing an auto rickshaw being thrown up several feet above the ground. In the background, there were cries of injured people too. On weekends, Delhi markets are usually bursting with energy bustling with energy as people come out to enjoy some time with their family and friends over shopping and street food. The roads are busy with honking cars, two-wheelers, and three-wheelers jostling for a spot to park their vehicles. One can hear an excited chatter all around. However, that day when I got off the car, there was an eerie silence. People who were enjoying with their loved ones moments ago were now frightened and struck with distress. By the time I reached the blast site, it had been cordoned off by the police. The injured had been shifted to hospitals by the local police and local people with the help of the PCR. As I walked towards the blast area, I saw several people standing with anxious and sad looks on their faces. They were looking for answers, whispering amongst each other in low voices. Many people from the press were standing outside the cordon-off area. I walked in with special cell officers and local police to inspect the blast area. An auto rickshaw was shredded to pieces. Some pieces of the yellow and black-colored metal were hanging from a tree. Many parts of the auto rickshaw were found at a distance of 10 to 20 meters from the blast site. The CNG cylinder of the auto was found 10 meters away from the remains of the auto rickshaw. Another auto rickshaw, in a totally damaged condition, was found near the divider of the road. I asked Sanjeev to find out if the auto drivers had survived and if there was any eyewitnesses. And if there were any eyewitnesses who could help with the investigation. The road was strewn with damaged goods and parts of vehicles. I looked up and saw the window panes that had shattered due to the blast's impact. Blood was splattered on the road. I prayed to the Almighty, hoping those who were injured would soon recover from this. My mind was filled with sadness. I had visited many blast sites, and each time I got very emotional, seeing such loss of innocent lives and abject suffering. Why do men kill men? What divine purpose could it serve? I took a closer look at the blast site and observed that the iron sheets of the auto rickshaw had rough edges and not sharp ones. With my past experience of working on many blast sites, I knew that high explosives such as RDX resulted in sharp cuts, while low explosives like ammonium nitrate, potassium chlorate, among all oxidizing agents act as explosives, resulted in blunt cuts. The smell of ammonium nitrate hung in the air, especially near the auto rickshaw. I wanted to check with a forensic team to confirm my observation. However, it was already collecting evidences from the site, and I knew that it would take some time for them to arrive at a conclusion. I was informed that the CP was trying to reach me over my phone. Mobile phone services were jammed, and wireless connections were the only way to communicate. He asked me to come to Central Park in Connaught Place at the earliest. I asked Sanjeev to come with me and asked the rest of the team to complete the analysis of the blast site and meet us directly at the office. Greater Kailash.
Wait. Let us stop here.
जी सर.
अभी जय भारती साहब के कमेंट लेने हैं.
जी दादा.
सुन लिया. पुलिस ऑफिसर खुद बोल रहा है, ज्वाइंट कमिश्नर खुद बोल रहे हैं.
देखिए नो कोई छुट्टी नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है. 24/7.
जय भारती साहब से मैंने इसलिए पूछा, जय भारती साहब को करोल बाग का इलाका मालूम होगा ना. करोल बाग कितना बिजी रहता है, कितना भीड़ रहती है वहां पर.
बड़ा हाई कैजुअलिटी एरिया हो सकता है करोल बाग। जब मैंने
And it was Saturday
19
evening.
हाँ, और वो भी वीकेंड पे। सरोजनी नगर, करोल बाग और भी होंगे, लेकिन करोल बाग हाँ ज़्यादा छोटी छोटी। मैं जब लास्ट ईयर तो था, मेरे को अपना पैन कार्ड बनवाना था, इतनी तंग गलियां थी जहाँ पर वो उनका ऑफिस था।
जी जी।
तो कैजुअलिटी रेट बहुत हाई है इस जगह पर, अगर अगर इस तरह का इंसिडेंट होता है तो।
अब देखिए गेटा क्लास में क्या
आप
हुआ, उसके बारे में पढ़ते हैं।
बीबी दादा, आपने देखा करोल बाग कभी?
अरे मैं तो रहा हूँ सर, पूरा देखा है मैंने।
मैं भी तो देखा, मैं इतना दूर
अच्छा,
रहता
हाँ
हूँ,
तो
मैं
आईआईटी में
जाता,
थे, ठीक है।
मैं भी
हाँ हाँ,
जाता
वहां
ठीक
तो
रहता
है।
मैं उधर आनंद पर्वत में मेरा वो जो बबलू आता है उसका चाचा पोस्टेड था, वो करोल बाग के लास्ट में है ना आनंद पर्वत, वहां भी जाता था मैं।
आनंद पर्वत, हाँ बिल्कुल ठीक है।
पढ़ता हूँ सर। Greater Kailash M Block Market. Meanwhile, Rahul and Sub-Inspector Dharmendra Kumar reached the M Block Market in Greater Kailash, where two successive explosions had taken place at 6:30 p.m. and 6:35 p.m. Dharmendra, a daring officer and an expert in undercover and covert operations, had been working in the special cell since 2003 and was an asset to the department. He had received one gallantry medal. The first explosion took place in a dustbin opposite shop number M9, a Levi's store, and the second was opposite shop number M29, the popular Prince Pan shop. The injured were moved to nearby hospitals. Vehicles and shops were damaged. The bombs were planted in dustbins that had some holes and small cycle ball bearings. The officers assessed that the terrorists had planted the first bomb to explode at the Levi's store, which was in the middle of the market. Then, as people would try to rush out of the market to the exit near Prince Pan Corner, the second bomb would explode, causing maximum damage. They examined the blast sites further and looked for eyewitnesses and CCTV footage, cameras that could help piece the investigation together. Connaught Place. The police had searched all the dustbins, unattended items, and parked vehicles to ensure that there were no more bombs planted. Timely action by the workforce had helped in detecting and defusing three live bombs planted in dustbins at Regal Cinema, the Children's Park at India Gate, and Central Park. Commissioner of Police Sri Dadwal had reached Central Park in Connaught Place. He, along with other senior officers, inspected the blast site. The media was waiting outside the cordoned-off area to speak to him and the other officers. He discussed with me what information we could share with the media at that time. I was of the view that it was too early to reveal anything. Sir, many explosions have taken place, and the larger plan of the terrorists is still unknown. We should not disclose our line of investigation, as any information broadcast by the media will also be viewed by the terrorists, I told him. The commissioner of police agreed, and while he walked towards his car, media personnel surrounded him and asked many questions. Who is responsible for all this? The Indian Mujahideen has emailed the media. Who are the members of this group? What kind of explosives were used? It is immaterial who takes the responsibility. Our job is to catch the actual perpetrators who have planted bombs and conspired to do so. The forensic team is examining the explosives used, and its actual constituents will be ascertained by the Central Forensic Science Laboratory (CFSL), which may take some time. The Delhi Police Special Cell will be working on the cases. The Commissioner of Police addressed the media on his way out. On his way, he sent a message to all the senior officers of the rank of Deputy Commissioner of Police and above, posted in field units, Special Cell, PCR and Crime Branch, to reach the police headquarters by 10:30 p.m. for an emergency meeting. On learning about the email that had been sent to the media houses, I requested the media personnel to share the same with the special cell. I also called the special cell office, informing them about the email and that we needed to track its source. Put a team of experts on this immediately. Also called for a meeting at 11:30 p.m. at the Lodi Road office with the entire team, I told the special cell office. I decided to go to the children's park where one of the bombs was defused. On Saturdays, the park is full of children and their parents. My thoughts raced to my own three children at home, and I silently thanked God that these bombs were defused before they could explode. After checking the park site, Sanjeev and I went to the Tilak Marg police station where one of the defused bombs was kept. Mohan had also reached the police station with his team to examine the bomb. The examination revealed that each bomb was kept in a plastic bag. The bomb had a boat-shaped wooden casing that was filled with explosives and cycle ball bearings, and electronic detonators were also placed along with the explosives. The wooden casing had an outer iron covering. On explosion, the iron casing breaks and pieces act as shrapnel. Holes were made in the casing through which electric wires connecting the electronic detonator were brought out and connected to a quartz watch which was attached to the casing using tape. The casing, along with explosive material and the detonator, were wrapped in plastic. Mohan shared with everyone that the bombs were identical to those planted in Ahmedabad on 26th of July and in Jaipur on 13th of May that year. These synchronized attacks in many parts of the country pointed to a large terror network that was well connected, had access to the bombs, and was able to work undetected so far. We had to stop them before they could strike again. On the way to the Delhi police headquarters, I started reading the email sent to the media by the terror group. It came with an attached PDF running into 13 pages. The sender of the email claimed sole responsibility for the serial blasts in Delhi. The email was titled "Resolved to Fight Till the End." The document started with the photos of the 2002 Gujarat riot victims with the caption "Eye for an Eye. The dust will never settle down." It was released by a group that went by the name Indian Mujahideen. I had so many questions. Who is behind the group? How is it different from the other terror groups that have attacked in the past? Where does it originate? It was the fifth email from the Indian Mujahideen. The first one was sent on 23rd of November 2007 during the UP serial blasts that targeted courts. The Indian Mujahideen was not known prior to that date. This module seems to have grown to create havoc through such organized attacks. State police forces and intelligence agencies across the country were unsure about the identity and the origin of the Indian Mujahideen. One theory was that this group was actually the Students' Islamic Movement of India, or SIMI, that Indian Mujahideen derived its name by removing S and I from the abbreviation SIMI. Some believe it to be a part of the Harkatul Jihad al-Islami, while others believed it to be part of the Lashkar-e-Taiba. However, the real nature or origin of the militant outfit was still a mystery at that time. There was a lot of information that the agencies did not have. I brought to mind the origin and activities of this terror outfit so far to map out what we knew, and if there were any leads that could be explored. Harkatul Jihad al-Islami is an Islamic fundamentalist organization with the motto "Movement of Islamic Holy War". It was founded in 1979 in Karachi by Maulana Irshad Ahmed, Qari Saifullah Akhtar, and Maulana Abdus Samad Sial during the Soviet-Afghan War between the period 1979 to 1989, and is theologically close to the Deoband school of thought. Its primary motive was to take volunteers to Afghanistan to help the rebels fight the Soviets. UG initially operated in Afghanistan. After the retreat of the Soviets, they started sending jihadis to Jammu and Kashmir. By 1992, it had further expanded its operations to Bangladesh and was supported directly by Osama bin Laden in its efforts. It was banned in Bangladesh in 2005 and in India in 2006. LET or Lashkar-e-Toiba was one of the largest active terror organizations in South Asia. It was said to be directly funded by Osama bin Laden. They called themselves the Army of the Righteous or the Army of the Pure and aimed for the integration of Jammu and Kashmir with Pakistan. The LET imparts combat training to the young and encourages them to pick up arms and become militants for their cause. This organization was involved in several attacks on the military and civilian targets in India. In 1988, it killed 23 Kashmiri Pandits in the Bandhama massacre. In October 2005, it carried out multiple bomb blasts in Delhi and caused multiple blasts in Mumbai in July 2006, among many others. Ironically, on the surface, they run humanitarian activities and raise funds for charity in schools, ambulances, mobile clinics, etc. SIMI was founded on 25th of April 1977 in Aligarh, UP. It started out as a students' wing of the Jamaat-e-Islami Hind. SIMI's ideology promoted the restoration of Khilafat or the Caliphate, emphasizing on Muslim brotherhood, Ummah, and the establishment of the supremacy of Islam. They opposed the idea of secularism, democracy, and nationalism, keeping in view their anti-national activities. The government of
Jamaate Islami Hind was the petitioner in Supreme Court na for this
JJ,
Kerala story के लिए.
that's the student wing, keeping in view the anti-national activities, the Government of India had imposed a ban on them in 2001. On 10th April 2006, there was a split in SIMI on the grounds of ideology. The Dr. Shahid Badr Falahi-led group followed a moderate path, while the Safdar Nagori-led radical group decided to take violent action by radicalizing more and more youth, training them, and then exhorting them to wage war against the state by causing explosions and killings. In March 2008, top leaders of the Nagori group, including Safdar Nagori himself, were arrested by the Madhya Pradesh police. The leadership of this group was then passed on to Abdul Subhan Qureshi, alias Takir. In August 2008, the Gujarat police arrested another set of SIMI members for causing explosions in July in the state. Subhan and Qayamuddin Kapadia, both leaders of SIMI, were hiding thereafter. The Gujarat police had come out with the theory that the Indian Mujahideen is nothing but SIMI. Which terror group is the Indian Mujahideen, or which group is it connected with? There must be links to larger terror organizations for it to be able to carry out such extensive bomb blasts. We had to connect these dots to unearth this terrorist group. I read the email further. The second page had the IM logo, which was a globe with a book placed on top of it, with two jihadis standing back to back carrying AK series weapons. The third page started with the prayer in honor of the Almighty and His Messenger Muhammad. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Coming to the main threat in the email, the writer shared that the intense, accurate, and successive attacks, like the one you will see exactly 5 minutes from now, 9 most powerful serial bomb blasts. The Indian Mujahideen claimed that these explosions would take place 5 minutes after the email was sent out. The email was sent out at 6:27 p.m. There were 5 explosions, 4 of them after the email was sent between 6:30 p.m. to 6:35 p.m., while one at Karol Bagh at 5:55 p.m., indicating something was amiss in its execution. Luckily, 3 explosive devices were timely detected in dustbins by the beat constables and were defused. One bomb seems to be unaccounted for. Where was it? The Indian Mujahideen had claimed to have masterminded various explosions in many cities in the past. In this particular email, it claimed to have meticulously planned and executed explosions in Ahmedabad and Surat on 26th of July 2008. Ahmedabad had seen a series of 23 bomb blasts. 21 blasts took place in the market areas and 2 blasts in cars parked in the hospital premises, killing 56 people and injuring more than 200, while the bombs in Surat failed to explode and were defused. The email also stated that we are about to devastate your very first metropolitan center, New Delhi, with 9 bomb blasts that are going to stop the heart of India from beating. By this attack, we intend to prove the ability and the potential of the Indian Mujahideen to assault any city of India. The attacks seem to have been meticulously planned, and they were clearly trying to prove that their might could not be countered. The email stated, this
एक
attack
मिनट रहने दो मत पढ़ो लंबा है वो I यहाँ पढ़ो I was trying
The
to
Indian Mujahideen was trying to insinuate that the arrests made by different states in bomb blast cases were of innocent people and not of actual planners or bombers. The Indian Mujahideen was particularly upset with the arrests made by the Gujarat police, stating that if they had arrested the mastermind, then who was behind the Delhi blast? I stopped reading the email as I reached the headquarters by then. At 10:30 p.m., the top brass of the Delhi police gathered in the PCR conference room located on the fourth floor of the Delhi police headquarters at ITO in central Delhi. The commissioner of police spoke to everyone in the room and started by reviewing the condition of the injured and the arrangements made at the hospital. He showed deep concern about the situation and said that unless the terrorists responsible for the blasts were identified and arrested, they could further wreak havoc in the city. Another cause of worry was that Ram Leelas would start after a fortnight, which would result in large gatherings in every nook and corner of the city. He emphasized that all the officers and policemen were required to reach out to the public, the Resident Welfare Association, and the market associations to chalk out a joint strategy, take their help to install CCTV cameras wherever needed, place door-frame metal detectors in all the markets, and activate and use the eyes and ears scheme of the Delhi police extensively. I asked the district commissioners of police to carry out extensive inquiries in the city about anyone who purchased ammonium nitrate from the explosive shops. The shopkeepers selling explosives are required to maintain proper records of anyone who purchases the explosives and about any recent bulk sale of quartz blocks. I also asked the district commissioners of South, Central and New Delhi districts where the blasts had taken place to collect and examine CCTV footage from the markets, metro stations and residential colonies. I asked the teams deployed at the hospitals to question all the injured before they were discharged. The identity verification of dead persons was also to be carried out quickly. Sometimes terrorists themselves get injured or die in such blasts. This exercise is done to eliminate any such possibility. I conveyed that the special cell would be coordinating with with the district police, investigating agencies of other states and the central intelligence agencies to collate and share leads with them and follow those leads. With the procedure and plan of action set in motion, the meeting ended. I looked at the clock. It was 45 minutes to midnight. After the meeting, I immediately left our Lodi Colony office for the 11:30 p.m. meeting. Most of the officers were still in the field investigating the cases. The officers present were briefed about the decisions taken in the meeting held at the Delhi Police Headquarters. Further, course of action regarding the procurement of dumped data of mobiles located at the blast sites, investigation of the source of emails sent by the Indian Mujahideen at various occasions, analysis of emails, questioning of auto drivers at the Karol Bagh blast site, coordination with districts and other states where explosions had taken place in the past, etc. were discussed. It was decided to hold a meeting at 11:30 a.m. the next day, after all the officers returned from investigations at the sites. They were asked to work round the clock at the time, as time was of great essence, or else the terrorists might strike again. On my way home, I resumed reading the email that further made specific threats to anti terror units of various states, politicians across party lines, and media personnel. It seemed they believed that through such threats the media would toe their lines and the police would stop arresting terrorists. They had perhaps underestimated the courage of the media and the policemen who would stand by the country. नीचे पढ़ो ना सर.
नहीं 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 नहीं, पढ़ो पढ़ो पढ़ो, थोड़ा अच्छा चीज है, पढ़ो.
Going back to
ये
the email,
रमजान
it
के टाइम में
stated,
किया था इन लोगों ने. पढ़ो.
going back to the mail, it stated, "We, the Indian Mujahideen, ask Allah, the Almighty, to accept from us these 9 explosions which were planned to be executed in the holy month of Ramadan. We have carried out this attack in the memory of two most eminent Muslim, two eminent Mujahids of India, Syed Ahmad Shahid and Shah Ismail Shahid. May Allah bestow His mercy upon them, who had raised the glorious banner of jihad against the disbelievers in this very city of Delhi. It is the great hard work and sacrifices of these visionary legends that shall always inspire us, inshallah, to carry on the struggle and fight against the kufr, disbelief, till our last breath." Syed Ahmad Shahid, referred to in the mail, was born in Raebareli, a part of the historical United Provinces of Agra and Oudh, now UP, in 1786. He desired to establish an Islamic state on the pattern of the early caliphate in the Indian subcontinent and possibly in the rest of the world. He declared that he would wage jihad against the infidels. He moved to Peshawar with Shah Ismail Shahid, started a jihadi movement with the help of tribal folks from Afghanistan. They were defeated by the Sikhs in the Battle of Balakot in 1831. The mail further stated, "It is very sad to see the bad condition of your cyber forensics. You have still failed to find out our technique of sending the message of death. The terrorists were gloating over the technique and mocked the investigating agencies. I wondered what technique they were referring to that we were ignorant of." The mail concluded by stating, "To end with, we have now proved to you this: the more you trouble us, the more you will be troubled by us. This deadliest strike at Delhi once again makes it clear that our threats are not at all limited to mere words, and with the will and permission of Allah, the action is in front of your eyes, and by the grace of Allah, there is no shortage of explosives or lack of manpower, and we are extremely capable to shed your blood anywhere, anytime. The battle has now begun, and the dust will never settle down." Their pride in their capability and determination to continue terror attacks was unsettling. We must move faster than them. No more lives should be lost to this mindless terrorism. It was 1:30 at night when I finally hit the bed, contemplating on how the Indian Mujahideen and how to crack the case of explosions. The words, "the battle has now begun and the dust will never settle down," were resounding in my ears. It was a challenge to the police and the nation itself. I had handled difficult cases in the past and had tremendous faith in the capabilities of my men. The dust must be settled soon.
सेटल
When
डाउन ना.
जी,
चल लास्ट में अब ये मैं इसको थोड़ी देर के लिए बंद करता हूँ, अभी डिस्कस करते हैं.
जी, मैं बोल रहा हूँ, देखिए 1800 से ये कीड़ा जो है घुसा हुआ दिमाग में, और ये कीड़ा अभी तक जा ही नहीं रहा है.
क्या इलाज है? दर्शकों बताओ क्या इलाज है?
मेरा इलाज बताऊंगा तो दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल अंडर द प्रेजेंट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया, provisions of the present constitution of India. We must stop all these religious organizations from propagating their religion and running their schools or madrasas or whatever you call them. All of these masjids which are basically police stations, mini police stations. I have observed in my area that most of the masjids, the mini ones too, are basically places where information is gathered, and it operates like mini police stations.
करेक्ट.
Unless these are stopped, only God can help us.
मेरे को तो एक ही सोल्यूशन लगता है कि जो भी पॉलिटिशियन या मीडिया पर्सन या कोई भी वकील हो, चाहे कितना बड़ा भी हो, उसको स्ट्रेट जैसे यूपी में होता है ना, उस तरीके से कर दो. बस सारा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगा. कितना भी कोई ह्यूमन राइट का इश्यू उठाए, ये उठाए, कोई मतलब नहीं है. Until these snakes are taken care of, कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. यही लोग हैं बदमाशी
Human
करने के.
rights must benefit the nation, or the larger community of people, or people of the nation, or the citizens as a whole. Human rights cannot be confined to a section of people who use
Yes.
terror.
पुलिस वाले मार दे किसी को तो पता लगा ह्यूमन राइट हो गया. प्रशांत भूषण लेकर के सुप्रीम कोर्ट, हाई कोर्ट में हम घूमते रहते हैं. जजेस लोग भी बोलते हैं अरे बाप रे, उनको क्यों ऐसा कर दिया, वैसा कर दिया. क्या मतलब है ये?
यही तो दिक्कत है सर.
मैं इस बुक को इसीलिए पढ़ाने को मजबूर कर रहा हूँ कि दिस इज फ्रॉम द हॉर्सेस माउथ, द पर्सन हु वाज इन्वॉल्व इन इन्वेस्टिगेशन. और आगे बुक में देखोगे, ही वाज ट्रांसफर्ड इन बिटवीन.
Which usually happens when one works honestly and with diligence. This usually happens. Nothing new.
अभी हम लोगों ने प्रोलॉग पढ़ा है, अब एपीलॉग पढ़ते हैं. एपीलॉग पढ़ के इसमें देखो क्या होता है. फिर बीच में जाएंगे जहां पर जरूरत पड़ेगी. तो दिस इज एपीलॉग. एपीलॉग पढ़ते हैं. थोड़ा बता दो पब्लिक को एपीलॉग प्रोलॉग क्या होता है.
Prologue is the beginning. भूमिका कह सकते हैं थोड़ा सा. तो पता नहीं, मेरी हिंदी उतनी मतलब सही नहीं है सर. प्रोलॉग मतलब वही तो, भूमिका ही तो थोड़ा सा.
सही है.
और एपिलॉग इज कंक्लूजन सॉर्ट ऑफ. लास्टली मतलब क्या निष्कर्ष निकल रहा है. Epilogue. The Batla House encounter was the beginning of the downfall of the Indian Mujahideen. During this decade, all the questions of the Batla House encounter and the Indian Mujahideen have been answered in different forums and courts of law. Many Indian Mujahideen terrorists have been arrested and put to court trials in bomb blast cases. The trials of several cases are still ongoing and progressing gradually. 2 bomb blast cases have been concluded to date. That is the Hyderabad serial blast case of 25th of August 2007 and the Jaipur serial blast case of 13th of May 2008. Both resulted in the conviction of the accused. While most of the Indian Mujahideen members have been arrested, some evaded arrest and took shelter at various places including Pakistan, Dubai and Nepal. The special cell was on the lookout for Shahzad Ahmad, alias Pappu, and Ariz Khan, alias Junaid, who escaped from flat number 108, L18 Batla House.
अरिज खान को पकड़ के अभी उसको डेथ पेनल्टी दिया है. कुछ दिनों पहले कोर्ट ने दिया अरिज खान को.
On 19th of September 2008, Shahzad had taken shelter in his village, Mohalla Baz Bahadur, Kote Kila Road, Azamgarh. After his escape, he was arrested by the Anti-Terrorism Squad (ATS) UP Police on the 1st of February 2010 from Khalispur village in Azamgarh. The Delhi Police Crime Branch, which was investigating the Batla House encounter case, took him on remand. During interrogation, he admitted that he was present at flat number 108 L18 Batla House during the raid and encounter. He confirmed that he managed to escape along with Junaid while firing at the police team. This revelation aligned with the testimonies of the special cell team that two people had escaped from Batla House. After completion of its investigation, the Delhi Police Crime Branch sent the case for trial in the court. The trial court convicted Shahzad on 25th of July 2013 and on 30th of July sentenced him to life imprisonment for his involvement in the Batla House encounter. Shahzad has filed an appeal in the Delhi High Court. Junaid had escaped to Nepal and occasionally visited India. The Delhi Police Special Cell had been trying to keep track of him. A team of the Special Cell working under Deputy Commissioner of Police Pramod Kushwaha got the lead and arrested him on 13th of February 2018 near Sharda Inter College, Banbasa, Indo-Nepal border. He was later taken on police remand by the crime branch in connection with the Batla House encounter. The crime branch has completed the investigation and has sent the case for trial, and the decision is awaited. The Batla House encounter became a historic event in the fight against terrorism. It caused a critical blow to the Indian Mujahideen as it neutralized its key members and broke the backbone of its network. In India, we lost one of the most intelligent and brave officers whose findings led us to the core of the Indian Mujahideen members. The work done by all the special cell personnel helped crack the bomb blast cases and neutralize the threat from this terror group that had, that had caused many blasts across the country between 2004 and 2008, causing injuries to 765 people and killing 239 innocent men, women, and children. This case stirred a political storm instigated by a witch hunt against special cell officers, divided public opinion, and became a raging controversial topic in the media that continues till date. The aftermath of this incident brought to the fore many systematic issues that officers face while discharging their duties towards the country. There is a dire need for India to have a political consensus on how to deal with terrorism and to build a national policy on it.
How correct he is. देखा?
Absolutely, sir. बीच में पढ़ता है कुछ?
नहीं, अभी छोड़ देते हैं। पब्लिक को थोड़ा सा सांस लेने का मौका देते हैं ना, पब्लिक बोलती रहेगी, थोड़ा सा फिर पढ़ते हैं।
कहाँ कोई बोल रहा है?
अरे हमारे जो बैठे हैं, ये तो बोलेंगे, प्रदीप तो बोलेंगे। प्रदीप, कुछ समझ में आया? लोगों को गाली देते रहते हैं लोग, कितना पुलिस वाले सेक्रीफाइस करते हैं।
जी दादा, सब करा क्या जाए, हमारे नेता ऐसे हैं जो सबके सेक्रीफाइस की ऐसी तैसी कर देते हैं मिनटों में। सिर्फ इनके पेट नहीं भरते हैं, पता नहीं इनको क्या खिला दिया जाए, पृथ्वी खिला दें इन्हें, सोलर सिस्टम घुसेड़ दिया जाए इनके।
पैसे के लिए मरते हैं साले, और कुछ नहीं।
पैसे की भूख ही नहीं खत्म होती इनकी। जी दादा, जय दादा, आप बताइए।
आज इसको खत्म करना है तो?
हाँ,
जीवी दावा कह रहे थे कि सोल्यूशन क्या है। मेरा तो अब ये सोल्यूशन होता है कि गवर्नमेंट को क्या अपडेट करना है, उनको जो करना है वो करना है। मैं कुछ बोलूँगा तो कंट्रोवर्शियल होगा। जो मैंने तो यूएस में भी जो अपने लाइफ में इम्प्लीमेंट किया है, मैं किसी मुस्लिम शॉप में गुजरा था, मैं किसी मुस्लिम रेस्टोरेंट में चाहे रेस्टोरेंट में खाने बन सकती, तो अगर किसी चीज़ से हलाल का लिखा हुआ है, आई डोंट बाय दैट। अब आप मेरा मैसेज समझ लीजिए, क्या कॉल आया किसी ने। जब हमको कश्मीर पेशावर से भगा दिया गया तो इसका मतलब हमारा बॉयकॉट है ना, वो एक तरह से। तो फिर
जी
हमें क्यों नहीं बोलने की भैया कि भाईचारा और गिरो सारा। अभी केरला स्टोरी में दिखा दिया ना, मैंने तो करनी देखी, अब मैं वीडियोस देख रहा हूँ एनालिसिस के।
जी
तो जिनको भाईचारा करना है आप करते रहो भाईचारा, हम तो भुगत चुके हैं।
कब से चल रहा है भाईचारा, अभी तक कम हुआ ही नहीं।
करो भाईचारा। और अगर आप किसी रेस्टोरेंट में जाते हो, आपको क्या पता कि आपके खाने में उसने नहीं फूका। अभी पीछे रावण जी ने एक वीडियो भेजा था शायद, उसी पे एक आदमी वो मूंगफल के आगे या तो कौन सी जगह होगा, मुझे नाम ध्यान नहीं, दिल्ली से बाहर निकलो तो शेव पंजाबी ढाबा, उसने कहा ये मुस्लिम है सारे। जब मैंने स्कैन किया तो पता लगा कि वो नाम आया, तो वो पंजाबी ढाबे खोल के बैठे हुए अपने वैष्णो ढाबे खोल के, और जो हिंदू है उससे फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता। हिंदू खुद पता नहीं जिंदा लाश है लगता है हिंदू, जब मेरे को समझ आती है ना, दे आर जस्ट लाइक अ ज़ॉम्बीज। कोई अवेयरनेस नहीं, ना सुनने चाहते हैं, ना जानना चाहते हैं, ना कुछ करना चाहते हैं।
आगे बढ़े तो
एक मिनट, मैं कुछ देख रहा हूँ, रुक जाओ। ये
पढ़ो उसको। सोनिया Gandhi tried for terrorists slain in Batla House encounter. BJP broke the back of terrorism. Modi slams Congress in Karnataka. ये 2 मई 2023 का आर्टिकल है। इंडिया
अब समझ में आया मैंने ये क्यों लिया था, बिकॉज
न्यू
मोदी ने
सर्विस।
कर्नाटका में बोला था, ये जब गई थी ना वहां पे बकवास करने के लिए सोनिया गांधी,
जी जी
इसीलिए। पढ़ो।
Chitradurga, Karnataka. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday said the history of Congress is of terror and appeasement of terrorists, and it had left Karnataka at the mercy of terrorists, citing how then the topmost Congress leader Sonia Gandhi had shed tears over the killings of terrorists in the 2008 Batla House encounter. Sonia Gandhi cried bitterly after seeing the images of the Batla House encounter. Here in Karnataka, you have seen how the Congress has been promoting terror. Congress has left Karnataka at the mercy of terrorists. उसमें पढ़ने का जरूरत नहीं है। हाँ, ये जरूरी। The people of Karnataka should never forget the history of Congress and its ideology. The history of Congress is of terror and appeasement of terrorists. When the Batla House encounter took place in Delhi, tears welled up in the eyes of the biggest leader of the Congress, Sonia Gandhi, after hearing the news of the death of terrorists, he said. Salman Khurshid, in one of his rallies during the 2012 Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections, had said Sonia Gandhi, the then Congress president, cried bitterly after seeing the images of the slain terrorists. एक आदमी मर गया, convict serving life sentence in Batla House encounter dies during treatment. Shana, Shahzad Ahmed was facing trials in 6 other cases, one of which was registered in Bengaluru. This is on 20th of January 2023. Articles of the Hindu Bureau.
दूसरे को जिसको फांसी हुई वो जुनैद को देख रहा हूँ मैं, वो कहाँ गया?
नाम लिखे सर।
हाँ ये
2021 का है, 15 मई 2021।
इसमें एक ही क्यों है और नहीं है कुछ? क्या है, क्या हुआ ये? चलो ठीक है।
इसमें फिर हाईकोर्ट गया होगा ना?
पब्लिक को ये तो मालूम पड़ना, वो भागे थे, एक तो पकड़ा गया और वो मर गया, दूसरा वाला बंदा ये उसको डेथ पेनल्टी मिली है, वो आगे गया होगा या नहीं होगा, बात चल क्या है? नेशनल कैपिटल एंड सो डेट क्या बोल रहा है वो? एडिशनल सेशन जज
Sandeep Yadav termed the case as the rarest of the rare. As additional public prosecutor, A.T. Ansari sought capital punishment for the convict on the ground that the incident shocked the conscience of society. The abhorrent and brutal act of the convict in firing on police without any provocation shows that he is not only a threat to the society but is an enemy of the state, the court said. The convict had absconded from the Batla House during the raid by the Delhi Police Special Cell on 19th of September 2008. The sleuths were acting on information that the suspected Indian Mujahideen operatives involved in the serial bomb blasts in Delhi, Jaipur, Ahmedabad and other places were holed up over there. In the shootout, 2 alleged terrorists were killed and 1 AK-47 and 2 pistols were recovered from the place at Jamia Nagar. Ariz was declared a proclaimed offender in 2009 and was arrested in 2018. He was held guilty in the case on March 8. The court, which recently convicted him, also ordered him to pay a fine of 11 lakhs, of which 10 lakhs would be paid to deceased Sharma's family members, saying monetary compensation would provide some solace and apply balm to the wounds of the family. Senior Congress leader.
Senior Congress leader
हाँ पढ़ रहा हूँ सर, वही सीनियर कांग्रेस लीडर।
कांग्रेस पार्टी है डिस्टेंस इटसेल्फ, क्या मतलब है
सर? आपकी आवाज फट रही है सर। Senior Congress leader Digvijay Singh has been termed the Batla House encounter as fake. However, the Congress party had distanced itself from the remark.
अभी क्लियर है?
ये आवाज खड़खड़ाहट है।
राज्यसभा में बोला था ना ओसामा जी।
मैं ये बैकग्राउंड इसलिए बना रहा हूँ कि इससे पहले कि मैं दिखाऊं पुलिस वालों की क्या हालत की है इन लोगों ने, अमर सिंह ने और प्रशांत भूषण ने। ये देख लो कि आप कोर्ट ने एक को तो लाइफ दिया, दूसरे को डेथ दे रखा है।
तो 2 मिनट पहले तो ठीक था सर, अभी क्यों ऐसा आवाज आ रहा है? आप जैसे बोल रहे हैं
दोबारा करता हूँ मैं।
खड़खड़ाहट है।
दोबारा पढ़ता हूँ, एक मिनट देखता हूँ क्या।
रमन राघव जी ने कुछ लिखा है, राइटली सेड ट्रू, पता नहीं किस किस कमेंट पे बोला है।
हेलो,
जी सर, अभी साहब
क्लियर है?
नहीं
थोड़ा सा
आ रही है अभी भी।
वो जब वो मैंने गूगल का जो साइट खोला था ना, वहां पे दुनिया भर के ऐड चल रहे होते हैं, उस चक्कर में शायद गड़बड़ करता है। नहीं आ रहा है?
मैं फिर से
आ रहा है दादा, अभी भी आ रहा है।
मैं स्ट्रीम छोड़ के निकल कर फिर से जुड़ूं क्या? हेलो,
अब सही है।
क्या बोल रहे हैं? जय जी, दैट वाज लॉन्ग टाइम बैक व्हेन बीबीजी एंड एम वर टेकिंग अबाउट सॉल्यूशन। अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा। अरे रमन जी अंदर आ जाओ ना, आप लोग तो, आप बहुत डिवोटेड हमारे व्यूअर हो। अंदर आके थोड़ा सा के उद्गार सुनना चाहते हैं हम। आ जाओ अंदर।
लिंक दिया है सर?
दे दूं? नहीं, कोई मांगेगा तभी दूंगा, नहीं तो कोई भी ऐसे ही आकर के गड़बड़ करते रहते हैं, मजा नहीं आता है उसमें। हम यहाँ पे मच्छी बाजार नहीं बनाना चाहते इसको।
वो आना चाहते हैं तो आ सकते हैं ना, 2 मिनट के लिए, जैसा लगेगा। उनका नाम बड़ा खतरनाक है। आपको याद है सर, पत्थर लेकर के सर फोड़ा करते थे। person of the same name in Mumbai only. To kill people on the pavement, those who sleep on the pavement, to crush their heads with stones. याद है सर?
सड़क पे जो छोटे थे उनको सबको मारता था ना वो।
यही नाम था, और कोई नाम नहीं मिला सड़क पे।
चलो आ जाते हैं, मेन घटना पे आ जाते हैं।
जी।
ये रात का टाइम है, सारे के सारे बिस्तर में बैठ करके सुन रहे होंगे, कोई बोलना नहीं चाहता ना, समस्या ये है। address the nation will never forget. 19 September 2008.
The address the nation will never forget, 19th of September 2008. Chapter 5, the day of the Batla House encounter. I was sitting alone in Sanjeev's office at Lodi Colony. My teams were already en route to Batla House. This was the final lead in many days that had the potential to bring more information on the blasts. It was also a very hectic and important day for the Delhi police, as Union Home Minister Shri Shivraj Patil was visiting its headquarters to interact with all the officers of the rank of Deputy Commissioner of Police and above. I was expected to be present at the headquarters. However, I knew I had to be available to my teams at all times during critical operations, so I decided to stay behind. While briefing the Commissioner of Police that morning about the status of the investigation and the raid to be conducted, I sought permission that Alok and I be exempted from attending the meeting with the Home Minister. When people go for such operations, they prepare themselves for all possible scenarios, but sometimes unexpected turn of events demand instant decision making. People leading the war against terrorism are aware that they may not always know everything, as the enemy is hidden and there are still pieces of the puzzle missing. Although we had a strong suspicion about Atif, we were not totally sure about his involvement in the crimes. Two teams had been sent for this task. Mohan led the first team, consisting of 18 police personnel, including himself. The police were in casual clothes so as not to attract unnecessary attention. His team was backed by another smaller team led by Sanjeev. The second team was supposed to act only if some unexpected situation emerged. In the past few days had been difficult for everyone, as most of them had hardly been home and were working round the clock. After leaving from office at 2 a.m. the previous night, Mohan had gone to check on his son in the hospital. His son's platelet count was dipping, but he was assured by the doctors that he would recover. Satisfied, he then bid his family goodbye and told them that he would be seeing them in the evening. Mohan had handpicked his team. They had a long association and were partners in many anti-terrorism operations and fight against dreaded. It was a big day for him too, as he was very instrumental in tying up the loose knots of the leads. Rahul had just returned to Delhi after an operation in Pathankot. He had been so busy the past few days that his daily routine of morning walks and then dropping his son off to school was disturbed. While he was leaving for office, his wife said, "Don't forget that tomorrow morning we have to go for an interview with the principal of DPS for our son's admission." He assured his wife that he would be there and left for office. Ravinder had reached home very late on the night of 18th of September. His wife served him dinner and asked the reason for the delay. He told her that he, along with team members, were busy in an important operation related to the recent blasts. He left for office early the very next day. Dharmender was called back from Srinagar where he was working in a terror-related operation. He got a call from the office asking him to be dressed as a Vodafone Cellular Company representative. It was used to such disguises for the purpose of collecting information. He reached home in the wee hours and hardly got ready to report at office. He said goodbye to his parents and wife. He told them that they were hoping to crack the blast cases soon and asked them to pray for his team. He also had a fleeting glimpse of his two kids, who were fast asleep. On his way out, he shared a light moment with his mother, like any other day. He reached office, and from there, he drove to Batla House with Mohan. Head Constable Balwant Singh was a front runner in the team in numerous operations. Bullets could never deter him. On 18th of September, he was returning from Jammu and Kashmir with a team of the Special Cell. They were pursuing a Jaish-e-Mohammed module there. He was hoping to catch a train from Ambala. to his village in Uttar Pradesh. As he was about to board the train, he got a call from the special cell office asking him to reach early the next morning, as a raid was to be conducted. He changed his plan and reached office at around 5 a.m. He briefly spoke to his wife over the phone and told her that he would come home after the raid. Head Constable Udaybir Singh lived in a rented accommodation in Basant Vihar, New Delhi, with his school-going son, while his wife and daughter were back in their village in Hapur, Uttar Pradesh. He was working on an operation in Jammu and Kashmir and had asked his son to eat at the neighbor's house during his absence. By the time he reached Delhi on 18th of September, it was already quite late. He did not want to disturb his son and stayed overnight with his colleague in Burari instead. From there, he went straight to his office in the morning and joined the raid party. Head Constable Satendra Singh was the concerned father of a teenage daughter and son. He used to be worried about their studies and also carried the guilt that he was not able to give them enough time. On 18th of September, he, along with other team members, returned from Jammu and Kashmir. When he reached home late at night, everyone was asleep. Without speaking to anyone, he left early for office the next morning. Sub-Inspector Rakesh Malik had hardly visited his home after the blast. He was responsible for intercepting the calls and as such was very busy in the control room. Sub-Inspector Devender Singh returned from Jammu and Kashmir on the night of 18th of September, had a quick meal, took a nap and left for office very early the next morning. Assistant Sub-Inspector Anil Tyagi started his day early. He got ready in a kurta pajama, bid his wife goodbye and left for office. Head Constable Satendra Kumar was to take his 19-day-old baby boy and his wife for a routine checkup. He missed his doctor's appointment that day, much to the disappointment of his wife. He left for office very early that day. Head Constable Vinod Gautam was confined to his office alone. Sorry, was confined to his office since 13th of September, as he was assigned multiple tasks in the ongoing investigation. Constable Birender Negi also couldn't go home after 13th of September because of the ongoing work. He had a quiet birthday with his colleagues on 17th of September in the office itself. Head Constable Manish Kumar skipped his bath, got ready in a kurta pajama and casual slippers. His wife asked him why he was leaving so early, to which he replied that there was some important work at office. He hugged her and left the house. Constable Sandeep Singh was part of the team that was investigating a kidnapping case in Keshavpuram, where he was asked to report for the blast investigation. He visited all the blast sites to ascertain the cell IDs of those locations required to obtain the mobile towers dump data from all the service providers. He was able to go back home only once since 13th of September. On 18th September, he was in the Batla House locality, doing a recce and familiarizing himself with the area. He remained in the area till 2 a.m. and returned to office in the wee hours. Sub-Inspector Dalip Singh was in the office with Mohan till late night on 18th of September. He got up early that morning, took a bath, went to the temple and offered Panchamrit on Shivling and left for office on his two-wheeler. He wanted to speak with his kids before leaving but couldn't. Constable Rajiv was posted in the special cell since 2006. He also had to come back from Jammu and Kashmir with the team. He had a spare key of his house. When he reached home, he quietly opened the door without disturbing his wife and daughter. He took a bath and caught up on some sleep before leaving for office early the next morning. Head Constable Rajbir Singh was a wrestler, and his colleagues called him Pahalwan, a soft-spoken and courageous man. He too had returned from an operation in Jammu and Kashmir a day before. When he reached home, he milked his buffalo, skipped his breakfast, and reported on time for the Batla House operation. Sanjeev was leading the backup team, had been so immersed in his work during that week that he and his wife were having constant arguments over his unavailability. That morning also they had an argument. As he was about to leave for the operation, she requested him to drop her in Vasant Bihar. While he was on his way, Mohan updated him about the team's position at Batla House. He dropped his wife on the roadside and rushed to the spot. This despite the fact that they just had an argument in the morning. They all had familiar responsibilities, emotionally strained spouses, rightly so, and children and older parents to be taken care of, among other things. But when it came to the call of duty, everything was secondary. This was my team, and we were ready for the Batla House operation. I was in constant touch with my men. The raid could start any moment. Just then, a call came in. It was from Mohan. Sir, there are people inside. L18. We are going in. I wished him luck. It was around 11 a.m. when I was getting anxious to know the outcome of the raid and was waiting for the next call from Mohan. Every second felt like hours. After about 10 minutes, my phone rang. This time it was Sanjeev. Sir, Mohan and Head Constable Balwant have been shot and are being shifted to the hospital. The terrorists are also injured, but they are inside the house. His voice was choking as if he was in tears. I had never seen Sanjeev like this. I was shocked, but I controlled myself. Sanjeev, are Mohan and Balwant okay? How bad is their condition? Sanjeev only repeated himself, though this time he was in better control of his emotions. We both were silent for a few seconds, and the silence said it all. We knew that our colleagues were injured, and this was the most unfortunate part of any operation. But the operation had to continue. I gathered, I gathered my thoughts and instructed Sanjeev to try to contain the terrorists. They had to be taken in alive to extract information about the network. I told them that I would reach there as fast as possible and that I was also requisitioning for additional force. I immediately collected the remaining officers present in the special cell and left for the venue. Simultaneously, I sent a message to Alok to meet me on the way. Oh God, hope Mohan and Balwant are okay. I called the commissioner of police, but he did not pick up the phone. I realized he must have been in the meeting with the Home Minister. I asked the PCR to immediately dispatch 5 companies of force and 1 platoon of commandos at L18 Batla House. In a few minutes, Sri Neeraj Kumar, Special Commissioner of Police, rang me. Colonel, what happened? He was my predecessor, heading the special cell and was second in command in the Delhi Police. Sir, Mohan's team conducted a raid in L18 Batla House. There was an exchange of fire in which Inspector Mohan and Head Constable Balwant have sustained bullet injuries. I have requisitioned more force and I am going to the spot. He told me that the force was being sent and the Deputy Commissioner South Dhaliwal, who was present at the Delhi Police headquarters, had been asked to reach there too. Alok met me on the way and we both reached Khalilullah Mosque near Batla House by car and moved on foot to L18. The situation there was tense. A huge crowd had gathered near the mosque, shouting slogans against the Delhi police. The crowd looked agitated, and it seemed that at any moment they could charge on us. I looked around and found that additional force had still not reached. I still had to go to L18, the scene of the encounter. As we passed the mosque on the left, we took a right turn into a long street of around 130 meters. L18 was halfway into the street. The walk was one of the most tense moments of my career. I could sense animosity for the Delhi police in the by lanes. A few vehicles were parked on the street and a number of locals were standing and whispering to each other. After walking some distance in the street, we entered L18 on the left and climbed to the 4th floor while we met our team. Flat number 108 was on the left side from the stairs. Sanjeev was standing there with his team. He told me that they were able to enter the flat and that there was a brief encounter. One person had been detained. The flat had 2 entry doors, perpendicular to each other. The stairs led to the front gate, and on its left was the second door. We entered the flat using the side door, which opened in a small lobby. To the left was a toilet, and in the front were 2 rooms, one on the left and one on the right, with a kitchen in between. As I turned right after entering the lobby, there was a living room. I noticed bullet marks on the walls and empty cartridges and lead strewn all over the floor. There was blood on the floor. A person was lying on the floor injured or could have been dead too. In the living room and another was in the left room. One pistol each was seen near them. One AK-47 was also recovered later. I took a closer look at the person lying in the living room. He could be Abu Bashir, as his description matched the one we received from the Gujarat police. I asked Sanjeev to send the photographs to the Intelligence Bureau immediately and to get it verified by the Gujarat police. Simultaneously, both of them were immediately shifted to a hospital. Then I asked my team to explain the sequence of events. Rahul explained that Mohan was leading the front team. All the team members except Dharminder were asked by Mohan to be in casual wear. This was done to ensure, even if the target was not found in the apartment, the team could withdraw without anyone knowing about their presence or the search. That was also the reason why none of the team members were wearing bulletproof jackets. The team had met at Abbasi Chowk, where a final briefing was given by Mohan. On Mohan's instructions, Rakesh and Manish were sent by Rahul to Shaheen Bagh for some verification. The vehicles were parked near the Khaliullah Mosque on the main road. The team had carried bulletproof vests and AK-47 weapons, but had left them in the vehicles in the custody of Virender, Sandeep and Satyendra Singh in case it, they needed they, in case needed in any follow-up operation. They carried only small arms with them. The team walked towards L18 Batla House. On their way in, the Khaliullah Mosque was to the left. The team then took a right turn into a street. Dalip and Anil were deployed on this street. Head constables Vinod and Rajbir were deployed on the left side street towards the mosque, while Sub-Inspector Devender and Constable Rajiv were on the right side street. They had been asked to keep moving around so as not to cause any suspicion about their presence. L18 was almost in the middle of this long street to the left. A seven-member team then entered the building that had a parking area and one flat on the ground floor. A few vehicles were parked there. A staircase led to the remaining four floors of the building. Each floor had two flats, one on either side of the stairs. While Mohan and five officers walked at the bottom of the staircase, Dharminder was sent to the fourth floor to confirm if there was any activity inside the flat number 108. Sporting a white shirt and dark-colored trousers with a shoulder bag, Dharminder was disguised as a Vodafone executive. Atif Amin was using a Vodafone SIM card. He went up alone to the gate of the flat number 108 and heard the sound of people talking inside. He came down and informed Mohan, who in turn informed someone on the phone. Then the seven-member team comprising Mohan, Dharminder, Ravinder, Rahul, Balwant, Udaybir and Satinder Kumar, two officers in the 18-member team had the same name, reached the door of the flat number 108. Mohan was in front and he tried to push open the front door gently. The door was closed from inside. The team then knocked at the door, disclosing their true identity. Suddenly, there was silence inside the flat. The team made some effort to open the front door, but were not successful. The raiding party then observed that the side door was unbolted and it could be opened. As soon as Mohan and his team entered the flat and found themselves in the lobby, they were greeted by a volley of shots fired at them from the living room and the room on the left. The team had landed in the crossfire and responded instantly in self-defense by firing back. Satinder and Udaybir immediately entered the room on the ninth. Ravinder took shelter near the kitchen, from where he fired at the assailants, while four officers, Mohan, Rahul, Dharminder and Balwant, remained faced with the three assailants in the living room. The terrorists were trying to escape by opening the front door while constantly firing at the team. In the ensuing battle, two suspects managed to escape and one fell down near the front door. Mohan and Balwant sustained bullet injuries. By then, firing had stopped from the left room. Dharminder and Udaybir took Mohan out of the building, and from there, they, along with Devender and Anil, took Mohan to the Holy Family Hospital at Okhla Road. Ravinder took Balwant downstairs and handed him over to Head Constable Gurmeet Singh, who took him to the AIMS Trauma Center. During this period, only two officers, Rahul and Satyendra, remained inside flat number 108. They covered the left room where some assailants were hiding. Ravinder came back upstairs and he and Satyendra covered this room while Rahul came out to check the two assailants who had escaped from the flat. He could barely check the roof and flat number 107 when the backup team headed by Sanjeev reached the fourth floor and took stock of the situation. Sanjeev Sanjeev's team was in bulletproof gear. Sanjeev narrated that as soon as he reached Jamia Nagar, he received a call from Dalit, a member of the raiding team, who informed him that Mohan had been shot at. Within no time, Sanjeev reached the spot. By this time, the three constables who were in the vehicles with AK-47s and bulletproof vests also reached the gate of L18. Dalit, who was positioned outside the building, led led Sanjeev upstairs to the flat. Rahul updated him of the situation. One of the terrorists was lying injured in the living room, whereas some were still hiding in the other room. When the team tried to enter the left room, the terrorists started firing. One of the assailants moved from the left side of the room towards the balcony door. As the police fired at him, he fell on the floor. When the team tried again to enter the room, he started firing at them, all the while trying to get up. Sanjeev and his team fired back. Rajveer, who had accompanied Sanjeev, did a burst fire with his AK-47 that neutralized him. Rajveer was shot at twice but was saved thanks to his bulletproof vest. One of the terrorists, Mohammad Saif, was found hiding inside the toilet of the left room and he surrendered himself. We disclosed that the person lying injured in the room was Sajid, and the one lying near the door was Atif Amin. He at that time did not disclose the names of the two people who had escaped. An AK-47 assault rifle and two loaded magazines with 30 rounds each were found in the room on the right, beneath the mattress. Both the injured terrorists had used .30 pistols. Days of working to find the lead, planning, strategizing all came to an end within a few minutes. Flat number 108 L18 Batla House was now an address the entire country knew. Acutely aware of the fact that this encounter might take its own life in different political circles, and that it will be flashed in the media with ample amount of conjecturing and speculation, the first thing I needed to confirm was the veracity of the events as it unfolded. I inquired in detail about the position of the officers and inmates during the encounter. Their version was in consonance with the bullet marks and other spots in the flat. I inspected the whole house while the team searched and collected the evidence such as laptops, cell phones, documents, weapons, etc. I also went to the roof and the adjoining flat. The tension in and around Batla House area was mounting. At this time, Dhaliwal also reached the flat. He told me that the additional force had arrived. I asked him to make law and order arrangements in the area, as while coming, I had observed that some people were trying to instigate the crowd. And yes, the district police should immediately take over the investigation of the encounter. I asked Dhaliwal to get this done on priority. The National Human Rights Commission guidelines stipulates that any encounter should be investigated by the police unit other than the unit involved in the encounter. So the investigation of the encounter was handed over to the district police immediately, and subsequently the task of investigating the encounter was transferred to the crime branch of the Delhi police. I came down to the street that was by now swarming with media persons with their cameras and OB vans. I could see a huge gathering of locals angry and raising slogans against the Delhi police. I had to address the impatient media and give them the initial information to quell speculation and hearsays. I remember talking to them briefly and then excusing myself. My mind was at Holy Family Hospital where Mohan was fighting for his life. Anxious faces of our officers greeted me at the hospital. Mohan's condition was not stable, nor was he in a position to be shifted to AIMS. The doctors were doing their best, and we could only pray. Specialist doctors from Apollo were also called in. Soon I saw his wife and other family members coming towards us. It was a difficult moment for all of us to look into the eyes of the family members, not knowing what to say. Words of consolation and encouragement sound so hollow. Spending some time with his wife and family, however, eased the pressure off me as well. We were all in this together and collectively praying for his recovery. We were one big family. However, despite the grave situation, the investigation had to go on. We still needed to find out who these people and their associates were and their involvement in the blasts, if any. We also had to know if Atif was actually Abu Bashir. I had talked to team members and asked some of them to stay there and others to take a further investigation. I spoke separately with Dharminder, who was in the leading team with Mohan, and inquired about the incident. He corroborated the sequence as told by Rahul. When we went to the AIMS Trauma Center to check on Balwant, we then went to the AIMS Trauma Center to check on Balwant. Upon reaching, I asked about his well-being and about the incident. His version was identical to those of Rahul and Dharminder. I was almost convinced that we were on the right track and that the encounter was genuine. While I was on my way to the Delhi police headquarters, I got a call from Rajan, the PRO of Delhi police. We sound worried. A TV channel was flashing the breaking news that the terrorists had been hiding in the Khaliullah mosque. Naturally, this news was creating panic and apprehension in the residents of that area, who feared that the police would enter the mosque. Is this true? Could you please confirm, sir? Asked Rajan. This is absolutely wrong information. There are no terrorists in the mosque, and neither does the Delhi police have any intention of entering the holy place, I responded. The news was immediately contradicted by the PRO, thereby controlling the unpleasant situation that could have arisen due to this false and irresponsible reporting. By the time I reached the police headquarters, news arrived from the Intelligence Bureau that testified our investigation. Atif Amin was indeed Abu Bashir, and that Mohammad Saif and Sajid were involved in Ahmedabad blasts. How spot on was Mohan? We now had to organize a press conference immediately to counter all the rumor and misinformation which unfortunately was traveling fast and wide. The Commissioner of Police briefed the media in detail. As you are all aware that there were blasts in Delhi.
Wait. एक minute. हाँ.
On 13th of September, the special cell of the Delhi police immediately swung into the investigation of these blasts. We remained in constant communication with the Gujarat police, Rajasthan police, and the Central Intelligence Agency. The special cell has been developing intelligence to identify the terrorists who are behind these blasts. We got information that one of the key suspects of not only the Delhi blasts but of others as well was hiding in Batla House. A team led by Inspector Mohan Chand Sharma and backed by another team led by Assistant Commissioner of Police Sanjeev Yadav reached at around 11 a.m. at Batla House. During the operation, the terrorists opened fire on the police team, which retaliated in self-defense. At least 8 bullets were fired by the terrorists, while the police team fired 22 rounds. Inspector Mohan Chand Sharma, who was leading the team, sustained bullet injuries. His condition is critical. I would like to say that Inspector Mohan Chand Sharma is one of the most decorated officers in the country. He is the recipient of one President's Police Medal for Gallantry and one Police Medal for Gallantry and 5 bars. That means he has received 7 Gallantry medals. He is critical and we are hopeful that he will come out of this. All our prayers are with him. Another officer of the special cell, Head Constable Balwant Singh, has also got a bullet injury in his hand. He has got a fracture there. I had visited both the officers. Head Constable Balwant is being operated on and steel plate will be implanted. In the operation, Atif, alias Bashir, who was the main leader of the Indian Mujahideen, and one Sajid were killed. Both of them are residents of Azamgarh and presently were staying in the Batla House area. It is found that Atif is linked with the blasts all over the country. The signature of the bombs defused in Delhi on 13th of September, consisting of wooden frame and use of two detonators and type of timer device, was seen in the bombs used in Jaipur, Ahmedabad, and Hyderabad. We also have information that he, along with his other associates, left from Ahmedabad from Delhi on 23rd of July and returned to Delhi on 27th of July. He was present in Jaipur also when the bomb blasts took place in Jaipur. We are developing further information in this regard. I would also like to clarify at this moment, Abdul Bashir, who was involved in the Gujarat blasts and brought to Delhi on remand by the Gujarat police, has got nothing to do with this operation of the special cell today. Some of the news channels are running the story that Abdul Bashir was brought from Gujarat, and he pointed out some houses on the basis of which this operation was carried out. I would like to categorically state that information is totally incorrect. This information was developed by the special cell. We have recovered one AK-47 with ammunition and two regular imported .30 pistols, besides computer and other material which are being examined further. On being asked as to why all have been arrested, the Commissioner of Police replied, "We have arrested one person while two were able to escape." The media further asked if Abdul Subhan Qureshi, alias Tawqir, was one of the persons who had escaped. The Commissioner of Police replied that the investigation was on to ascertain the identity of the escapees. He also told that Mohammed Saif was caught from the spot and he was being interrogated, and the team was investigating the case further. Everything happened too fast and details will be obtained on further investigation. With further investigation, we are at the moment concerned about Inspector Mohan Chand Sharma and Head Constable Balwant, and we are following up on their medical condition closely. We are also following investigation. As we have more information, we will revert to you. He stated that Tawqir had links in the Delhi blasts and was the key man pushing the operations. One of the journalists asked, "Raids are conducted generally at 3 a.m. when everyone is sleeping. Why was this raid conducted during the daytime?" The CP, the Commissioner of Police, was aghast at this question. "I don't know your motivation of asking a question of this nature. There's no fixed time to catch a thief. No one says, 'Please come to arrest me' between 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. The police had information, so went there at 11 a.m. to arrest him. What is wrong in that?" He also confirmed that the Delhi police had also got inputs from the Gujarat police. Once the press conference was over, I, along with Alok, excused ourselves and rushed to Holy Family Hospital to inquire about Mohan. Holy Family Hospital. It was around 7 p.m. in the evening, and a large number of wishers. Sorry, it was around 7 p.m. in the evening, and a large number of wishers had assembled there. Somehow, I was feeling a bit uneasy and felt something was wrong. We walked through the crowd and reached the intensive care unit where Mohan was kept. Inspector Sanjay took me to a separate room. Soon the doctors came out and the expression said everything. Mohan could not be saved now. He was breathing his last. We rushed to his room and saw him lying connected to machines and wires that were trying to save him. I walked towards him, put my palm over his forehead, and tears started flowing from my eyes. The very life of the special cell, the man whose investigation yielded us results, the one who could beat any encrypted message and intercept any call, the one whose network of human intelligence was immaculate, was lying there connected to machines and wires. The man who would make a difficult task easier by its words. "Ho jayega." Mohan. हो जाएगा sir, हो जाएगा. It will be done sir, it will be done. Was lying there, lifeless. I knew we had lost him. In extreme grief, I went to another room. I called Mohan's father and informed him. He was in total shock and was inconsolable. At that time, the Union Home Minister, along with the Commissioner of Police, also reached the hospital. No words can fill the gap that his absence left in his family's lives. I felt lifeless, devoid of any thoughts or emotions. No one could have imagined that our day would end like this. When life-changing events occur, we do not get any signs that they are about to happen. You live on as if each day will be routine, and these moments creep in when we least expect them, and they change our world forever. A world without a brave, soft-spoken, and committed comrade like Mohan. Later, Zishan, the co-accused, who used to stay in the flat, revealed. क्या लिख रहा है?
वो तो उसका जो रेफरेंस है ना वो दे रहा है, कहाँ से लिया उसने. देखा? और इसमें नेतागिरी होती है बाद में. हाँ,
सारे नेता लोग तो भाग रहे हैं.
सर एक एक नेताओं के भी मार देने चाहिए साथ में, ताकि दर्द होता रहे.
Excuse me. Hi, I'm Sharon Murphy. I'm a social media journalist. I'm looking for Otto Anderson.
Are you sure you want to do that?
और पढ़ना है.
नहीं दादा, पढ़ तो लिया और सारी स्टोरी तो सामने है. अब
नहीं,
कितने लोग
वो जो है ना साले वहां पर प्रेस्टिट्यूट, उन्होंने कितना नाटक किया वो पढ़ना है क्या?
10 मिनट उसको भी देख लेते हैं ताकि रिकॉर्ड पे रहे.
This is an extremely painful moment for all of us and for Mohan family. We lost a brave and brilliant officer today. It was his excellent investigative skill and efforts which brought the Delhi police great success, but great and unbearable pain too. He had led the team in unraveling the mystery of the Indian Mujahideen, the outfit responsible for the explosion and the killing of many people months after months. He went ahead in this mission even though his son was struggling with dengue in the hospital. For him, his duty was supreme and more important than anything else. He always worked in mission mode and accomplished solving the most difficult cases. His soul is now looking at us to see if we can accomplish his unfinished task. I know we are all filled with deep sorrow and grief at this juncture and in no mood to work on, but by doing so, we'll be failing Mohan and other people. If we were here, he would have asked everyone to follow the leads without losing any time. And we must do that. We owe it to the people of this country and to Mohan the sacrifice that he has made. We must honor it by continuing his legacy of cracking difficult cases. The fear of obstacle stops the inferior men from starting work. Medium men start their work but leave it midway. मैंने एक दिन इसको शायद हिरणमल को बताया था ये, but leave it midway when they face difficulty. Exceptional goods could start their work and continue with even if there is a series of obstacle on their way. ये भारतारी का श्लोक है. अभी पढ़ता हूँ श्लोक क्या है. प्रारभते नखल विघ्न भयन नीचे प्रारभ विघ्न भीता बिरवंति वद्या विघ्न पुनः पुनरप्य प्रतिहन्यमाना प्रारभ्य चित्ताम जन्म न परित्यजंती. ये है इसका. उस दिन में प्रारभते विघ्न भीता बिरवंति वद्या विघ्न बिना बिना प्रतिहन्यमाना. ये है भाई, ऐसा है, क्या बताएंगे. We are the best people who can be stopped by any difficulty, any sorrow or any pain. Let's put in our best. We need to work for so as to catch the leads and move on. Let us meet in the Lodi Colony office in an hour to regroup and work for the next steps. And as Mohan would have said it, let's follow the lead. I said these words trying to hold back my tears. Mohan team did not want to leave the hospital as they wanted to be there for his family. They were filled with sense of deep sorrow at having lost an old associate, a colleague, and a mentor who they had worked with on so many cases. Empathy flowed in for Mohan family, his young wife, his children, one of whom was fighting dengue in the hospital, his daughter, parents who have just lost their young son, and his sister. There was pain all around, the pain of losing a dear and daring colleague, the pain of seeing his grieving family, the pain that the culprit were still at large and needed to be apprehended. We need to get back to our duty and move fast to unearth the mystery of Indian Mujahideen. We were all in this together as a family. I had first full trust in Mohan and my team. I asked a few of our officers to stay back in the hospital with Mohan family and asked the others to reach our Lodi Colony office, where a crucial task lay ahead for us, that of questioning Muhammad Saif, who was found hiding in the toilet at Batla House during the encounter. I walked into the room and saw Saif sitting on a chair, a young man of medium height. He had a whitish complexion and curly black hair. He was looking down at the floor. Sanjeev was able to get some information from him, albeit with some initial hiccup. Inside the ordinary looking young man was a tough and radicalized mind. I often wonder how much poison can be filled in a person to make him a changed man. Uncertain questioning he lay ahead of us, that of questioning Muhammad Saif. He started revealing things in part and narrated how he became part of Indian Mujahideen. He also elaborated on his role in various terrorist activities in the country. The son of a PCO owner, Saif was born in 1987 in Sunjarpur village in the Azamgarh district of UP. His father, Sadab Ahmed, apart from running a PCO near a taxi stand in Sarai Mir, a town, and Nagar Panchayat in the Azamgarh district, was actively involved in politics. He was in fact the district office president of the Samajwadi Party. Saif was in class 8 when he started listening to lecture organized by Simi on several topics including jihad. It is here that seeds of radicalism and extremism were planted on him. Saif carried on with his studies and completed his BA degree from Shivli National College, Azamgarh in 2006. Thereafter, he took admission in MA course in Pandit Govind Pallab Pant Mahavidyalaya in UP. His elder brother, Dr. Sanawaz Alam, was already friends with Atif Amin and Sadiq Israr, alias Sadakat, one of the leader of Indian Mujahideen. He had motivated Atif to join IM, and two of them often visited the brothers. They were the one who motivated Saif to join their group. Saif also came to know that his brother had already undergone training in Pakistan. We were in the middle of questioning Saif when suddenly I received a call from a new channel. It informed me that a young man named Jisan was in their office claiming he was afraid that he would be arrested by the Delhi police for the blast. Jisan claimed innocence and wanted the media house to protect him. The channel informed us that they would be conducting his interview, and if he was wanted by the special cell, I may send a team to their office to arrest him. Why is the media house asking us to arrest or detain this person from their studio? Is this a ploy to get more mileage from the ordeal? I responded that the media should carry on with the interview and inform me once the interview was done. Naturally, the channel was expecting some drama to unfold in their office, what with the special cell zooming into a newsroom and nabbing the culprit. Alas, I played a spoil sport in this media frenzy. Who is this Jisan? I asked Saif. He did know Jisan and confirmed his role in the Ahmedabad blast. I mobilized a team headed by Rahul to be stationed near the new channel office where Jisan was taking refuge, albeit a temporary one. After some time, another call came in from the same channel that they would hand over Jisan to the police and that I could send my team to their studio in Paharganj. No way, I was sending my men to the new channel. You may please decide what you want to do with Jisan. Our special officers will not enter your premises. I responded as a matter of fact. So left with no other option, the channel let Jisan go. Our officers detained him as he was leaving the studio. साले गधे लोग हैं ये लोग, कितना बदमाशी करते हैं मीडिया वाले। ऐसे वो नहीं था वो जो दिल्ली वाले केस में पकड़ा गया था, वो कौन था, वो जो कारपोरेटर, वो भी किसी मीडिया हाउस आज तक के चैनल में घुस गया था ना, वहां पर जाकर के इंटरव्यू दे रहा था कि आज ये होने वाला है, आज वो होने वाला है।
ताहिर हुसैन था।
हाँ,
और
ताहिर हुसैन।
हाजी, हाँ हाजी था, हज करके आया था वो।
अभी देखो बात जो है ना थोड़ा सा अलग हट जाएगी। कल नाविका कुमार का जो वो बकवास कर रही थी, जब उसकी वो जो भावना किशोर जो है जो पकड़ी गई थी, उसमें वो क्या बोल रही थी, हम एग्जीक्यूटिव एडिटर हैं, पता नहीं क्या है, और अगर तुम्हारी हिम्मत है तो आके हमारे को पकड़ लो, ये कर लो, वो कर लो, ऐसा है वैसा है, जैसे कि वो अपने आप को बहुत बड़ा लाडसा समझती हो।
अरे अर्नब गोस्वामी का हालत खराब हो गया था।
हाँ, ये अभी देखो, मैं अरविंद केजरीवाल का फेवर नहीं कर रहा हूं, वैसे भी सबको मालूम होगा कि मैं किस तरीके का मतलब आदमी हूं, लेकिन ये पक्की बात है कि इलेक्शन ईयर में गवर्नमेंट से पैसा लेने के लिए टाइम्स नाउ ने, टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया ने ये बकवास करनी शुरू की है, जिससे कि इनको दबा के ऐड मिले। अरविंद केजरीवाल जितना ऐड देता है बाकी मीडिया को मुंह बंद करने के लिए, उससे ज्यादा तो मोदी गवर्नमेंट दे देगी इनको ऐड। बस गाते रहेंगे साल भर, नरेंद्र मोदी जिंदाबाद, नरेंद्र मोदी जिंदाबाद, और दबा के पैसा लेके बैठेंगे।
अरे ये पैसे ही तो नहीं दे रहे इनको, और है क्या बात है। अगर पैसे दे देते तो सारी दुनिया में इनकी जय जयकार नहीं हो रही होती।
मैं इसीलिए उस दिन मना कर रहा था कि इसके बारे में मैं नहीं करूंगा, क्योंकि इसमें यही हुआ होगा। 2015 से लेकर के 2020 तक पहले टेन्योर में कभी भी, मैं एक बात ध्यान रखना, 2011 में सबसे ज्यादा जो अरविंद केजरीवाल को ऊपर किया है तो टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया ने किया है, टाइम्स नाउ ने किया है, किसी नाविका कुमार ने किया है। इनका कहीं पंगा हो गया होगा, उस चक्कर में पंगा हुआ होगा, कुछ ना कुछ तो हुआ होगा, हमको इतना दो, हम तुम्हारे बारे में इतना बोलते हैं, इतना बोलते हैं, उन्होंने बोला नहीं, गेट लास्ट, उस चक्कर में कुछ गड़बड़ हुआ होगा। अगर कोई गवर्नमेंट के पेपर देता है, घर के पेपर देता है, पीडब्ल्यूडी ने दिया, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने दिया, बीजेपी ने दिया, तो हर एक मीडिया हाउस को दिया होगा। लेकिन बाकी लोगों ने क्या हुआ, मांडवली की होगी, हम करें कि नहीं करें, उन्हें बोला ठीक है आपका जो हमारा पिक पैकेट है उसको बढ़ा देते हैं, हम आपको 10 लाख देते हैं, 20 लाख दे देंगे, चुप रहो। इन्होंने बोला होगा नहीं, हम तो बढ़ाएंगे, हमारे करोड़ दो, नहीं दिया होगा, उस चक्कर में निकाल दिया। ये कौन सा इनका खुद का इन्वेस्टिगेशन है?
ज्यादा न्यूज चैनल कर ही तो यही रहे, डील्स क्रैक कर रहे होते हैं बस। ये
फिर
कौन बेटर डील क्रैक करेगा उसका रेट ज्यादा होगा।
अभी जिस समय अर्नब गोस्वामी को पकड़ा था सचिन वजय ने और सबने बम्बई में जब पकड़ा था और उसको अंदर किया था, हर एक मीडिया वाला चुप था, कोई नहीं बकवास कर रहा था। अब तुम्हारी अगर वो 22 साल की छोकरी गई है अंदर, तो दूसरा लोगों को बकवास क्यों करेगा? टिट फॉर टैट तो होता ही है ना। तुम अरविंद केजरीवाल के रैली को कवर करने के लिए एक 22 साल के इंटर्न को भेज रहे हो, दिस इज योर इम्पोर्टेंस, व्हाई शुड समबडी एंटरटेन यू? तुम जाओ ना वहां पर फील्ड में।
मैंने फिर कोर्ट कचहरी है, सब है, लेट देम टेक लीगल एक्शन।
दादा मीडिया को लगभग सारी चीज मालूम होती है, ऐसा नहीं है मालूम नहीं होती, इनको पता
अरे
होती है, बस ये
नंबर एक ब्लैकमेलर है ये लोग, नंबर एक ब्लैकमेलर है ये लोग।
तो आप ही सोचो दादा, जो न्यूज़पेपर होता है वो 5 रुपए का बिकता है, ठीक है, उसकी सिर्फ प्रिंटिंग कॉस्ट और पेपर की कॉस्ट 25 रुपए आती है, 5 रुपए में कैसे बिक रहा है वो?
वो तो जो गवर्नमेंट का ऐड होता है, गवर्नमेंट का ऐड सबसे मैक्सिमम टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया भी मिलता है ना।
आधा तो मतलब एक पेज का लंबा, एक पेज का ऐड होता है।
नहीं,
आधा
मैं
पेपर तो
दादा
ऐड से भरा हुआ है।
मैं एक सिंपल बिजनेस की चीजें बोल रहा हूँ कि रॉ मटेरियल मतलब आपका प्रिंटिंग कॉस्ट प्लस पेपर का, यानी जो पेपर यूज हो रहा है उसमें, उसका कॉस्ट अगर 20 से 25 रुपए आ रहा है, तो वो 5 रुपए में बिक कैसे रहा है? कैसे फीजेबल है ये? इसका मतलब तुम कुछ ना कुछ बाहर से करोगे, तो आपकी एथोस ही गड़बड़ होगी, आपके बिजनेस के जो वो है ना रूल्स है, सेट ऑफ रूल्स, वो ही गलत है। तो उसमें आपको करप्ट होना ही पड़ेगा, होना ही पड़ेगा और होना ही पड़ेगा।
मे भी किसी एजेंडा के प्लान कर रहे हैं। 25 की कॉस्ट है, 5 का सेल प्राइस है, कोई एजेंडा है जिसको एग्जीक्यूट कर रहे हैं वो?
दादा ये अपने एजेंडा ही तो पिलाने होते हैं इन्हें, वरना कौन लॉस में बिजनेस करेगा? आप नहीं करोगे, मैं नहीं कर सकता भाई। 25 रुपए अगर मैं लगाऊंगा तो मैं कम से कम तो 35 रुपए कमाना चाहूंगा, तो मेरे पेपर की कॉस्ट 35 रुपए आएगी, नहीं चल सकता वो। ऐसी न्यूज में दादा जो है इनका भी सारा जो है वो एडवर्टीजमेंट पे चलता है, जिसने नहीं दिया, जिससे लेना एडवर्टीजमेंट, ब्लैकमेल करेंगे उसको कि हमारे पास तुम्हारे फलाने फलाने डॉक्यूमेंट्स आ गए हैं, अब बोलो तो हम चलाते हैं। फिर वो नेगोशिएट करेंगे, डील होगी, डील विल होके और वो फाइनल हो जाएगा। इसीलिए आपको 95% 98% गलत न्यूज़ मिलती है, हेडलाइंस कुछ होती है, अंदर मैटर कुछ होता है। इनको हम न्यूज़ के लिए पैसे दे रहे हैं भाई साहब, हमें न्यूज़ ही नहीं दे रहे होते हैं।
ये पढ़ो कितना इंपॉर्टेंट चीज लिखा है इसमें, देखो किस तरीके से प्लांट किया गया था, कौन किसने किसने प्लांट किया था। अरे सचिन, सपोर्ट करने के लिए पैसा भी भेजना पड़ता है, हम किताबें खरीदते हैं भाई पैसा दे करके ऑनलाइन। भी सपोर्ट ही हो, हम कौन सा यहाँ पर टेररिस्ट से लड़ रहे हैं।
जी
इन अगस्त 2008 यहाँ से
जी In August 2008, Atif and others shifted from Janta Flats to L18 Batla House, which was taken on rent by Atif. It is this house that they made the plan to carry out blasts in Delhi. Jishan gave them details about the Delhi blasts and how they recce'd the various locations and who planted the bomb at which locations.
एक मिनट।
After planting the bombs in Delhi on 13th of September, they returned to L18 Batla House and saw the news on the TV about serial blasts in Delhi. They congratulated each other on their success. Confident about their success in Delhi, the group now had plans to target the financial hub of the country, Mumbai. On 19th of September, the day of the Batla House encounter, Zishan had gone to take an exam, while the others were still sleeping in the flat. He had quietly opened the side door to leave the house without disturbing others. When his exam was over, he saw the news of the police encounter at L18 Batla House. At first, he decided to leave Delhi, but nervousness got the best of him. He called a few of his friends and his mother, who advised him to take the media route. And this was how he approached this particular news channel. The interrogation continued till late that night, I left the office at about 2 a.m. after deliberating on the work to be done during the day.
कौन सा न्यूज चैनल था वो?
एनडीटीवी था।
उस समय उसका था ना, वो सहारा का भी चल रहा था ना, सहारा वाला था, सहारा का
अच्छा
न्यूज।
अच्छा।
सहारा तो इनका ही था ना, अमर सिंह
हाँ,
गौर का।
और नहीं पढ़ना है सर?
मैं ढूंढ रहा हूँ, थोड़ा सा और देखता हूँ जहाँ पे।
Picking up the pieces.
हम्म
20th of September 2008. I reached home at around 3 a.m. and before I could get any sleep, it was already time to leave for office. It had been a week since the blasts and a day since the encounter at Batla House. There were still many leads to be followed, and that required extra hours at office. 9:30 a.m. As per the protocol laid down by the National Human Rights Commission, when a death happens during an encounter, the concerned department needs to send an initial report on the incident to the National Human Rights Commission. These provisions have been in place since 1997 and were revised in 2003. There's a specific format for the report, and it should be sent to the National Human Rights Commission within 48 hours
मगर
of the
स्किप करते हैं, इसको स्किप करते हैं,
incident.
ये तो सिर्फ लॉ पढ़ा रहा है। ये पढ़ो, while in office I flipped
While in office, I flipped through the newspapers that had extensively covered the Batla House encounter. One national daily read, Delhi police mourns its braveheart. All the newspapers covered the exemplary work done by Mohan. One of Mohan's relatives had shared that.
मत मत पढ़ना, मत पढ़ना, ये पढ़ो ऊपर से।
Mohan was one of the top officers of the Delhi police, known for fighting against terror. He was exceptionally gifted in technological understanding and had great command over surveillance and in tracking down criminals. I was also quoted in the article, "We have lost our best man," lamented Joint Commissioner Special Cell Colonel Singh, his boss. My mind drifted to the operations carried out by Mohan's team. Mohan was an excellent leader with many years of experience of working on the ground. I felt pangs of pain when I read the newspapers. I still felt that he would walk into my office any moment with his cheerful smile. I wished it was all a nightmare and things would be different when I woke up. But this is reality. I brought myself to read the other news stories. A few of the snippets focused on Simi. The Government of India had banned Simi for the first time on 26th of September 2001 under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967. The ban continued for 2 years and then it was again imposed on 26th of September 2003. The ban was imposed for the third time on 8th of February 2006. On 5th August 2008, the Special Tribunal of the Delhi High Court lifted the ban, giving the reason material given by the Home Ministry is insufficient, so ban cannot be continued. The government immediately moved the Supreme Court, which stayed the order of the tribunal on 6th of August 2008. The present investigation has brought out a plethora of evidences against the activities of Simi, thereby strengthening the case of the government against Simi, which could be presented in the Supreme Court. Another news item read, the death of an inspector so and so करके। अच्छा, ये पढ़ना जरूरी है सर। The death of an
हाँ, इसीलिए रोक
inspector
के रखा है, पढ़ो पढ़ो
in
पढ़ो।
Friday's encounter will also make it difficult for powerful politicians in the government to argue for lifting the ban on Simi. Two members of the Manmohan Singh cabinet, Railway Minister Lalu Prasad and Steel Minister Ram Vilas Paswan had hailed the tribunal's order against the ban as a validation of their belief in the innocence of the organization. They were joined by the UPA's new-found ally, Mulayam Singh Yadav, who was the Chief Minister of UP, refused to enforce the ban on Simi in the state. The political undertone in some of the articles did worry me about the potentiality of a political fallout of the encounter due to the divided opinions in the ruling coalition. There were news articles that highlighted the community efforts to maintain peace and calm. This community radio, run by AJK Mass Communication Research Center of Jamia Millia Islamia University, appealed to people to maintain calm and restraint. Immediately after the news broke about the encounter, the radio station that was playing recorded programs and was about to shut for Friday namaz came alive with volunteers taking stock of ground zero and going live on air. Its anchor Arfa, a PhD scholar in political science, announced, "From time to time, these anti-social forces try to create disruption in our society. We need to be united and fight these forces. What happened here today is not related to any religion or creed. We want to tell you that this issue is between the police and anti-social elements. Dear listener, you should stay indoors at this hour. Don't believe in rumors. There is no danger to you." I admired the selfless and timely contribution made by the students in dispelling the fear in the minds of the people and coming out openly against terrorism. After the postmortem, Mohan's body was carried to his residence at Dwarka. A large number of neighbors and people from far-off places had gathered in the locality. Many of them did not know him personally, but they felt the highest regard for him and had come there to pay their last tributes. Sanjeev informed me that the procession was starting from Mohan's home. I left my office with Sri Dadwal and reached the cremation ghat, where the local police had made arrangements for the last rites. Slowly, the gathering grew to an unprecedented level, and it included the common men as well as the who's and who of Luton's Delhi: Home Minister Sri Shivraj Patil, Delhi Chief Minister Mrs. Sheila Dixit, BJP leader Sri L.K. Advani, Lieutenant Governor Sri Tejendra Khanna, and the police officers of every rank and cadre, advocates and hundreds of citizens came to pay their last respects. Mohan was a national hero. Mohan's body was brought to the cremation ground in a van that was decorated with flowers. When his body was taken out from the van, Sri Dadwal and I moved forward to give shoulders to carry him to the base floor, where the wreaths were laid on his feet. The police armed contingents gave salami salute with a volley of bullets to the departed soul. Thereafter, his body was carried to the pyre at Yamuna bank. Everyone present was tearful and filled with immense grief. His family was inconsolable. Sri Gopal Subramanian, Additional Solicitor General of India, was standing beside me. He had met the officers of the special cell during numerous legal briefings. He knew Mohan very closely and was quite fond of him. He spoke to me and expressed his solidarity in fighting against terrorism. I remained there till the cremation proceedings were over. On my way back to office, I spoke to Alok and Sanjeev. "Sir, I think we should now tell the public what we know so far about the Indian Mujahideen module." Alok was convinced of this.
डडवाल ये है कर्नल सिंह.
Okay, Alok, this makes sense. The people should know the details of the terror network. I concurred with him. I asked Rajan to call for a press conference. My phone rang again. It was from the Deputy Commissioner of Police South, Dhaliwal. "Sir, the owner of flat number 108 L18 Batla House came to the police station with a police verification form. It had an acknowledgement stamp of the police station in it. The form was given to him by the caretaker of the house as proof of police verification. Oh, it means there was a lapse on our part. I quit. No, sir. On inquiry, it was found that the police station stamp on the verification form was forged, and no such form was ever submitted in the police station. It was also found that the caretaker forged the signature of the owner on the tenancy deed. Dhaliwal said, "Good work. Do follow every lead that comes your way," I replied. It was time for the press conference. As I was entering the PCR, the media was waiting with bated breath. Not an inch of space was left unoccupied. Television cameras with their wires extending to their OB vans were ready to beam live pictures. The mics positioned like an artillery. The energy of palpable. I went live. पढ़ो इसको.
नहीं, कोई रिपीटेशन करेगा मोहन
हाँ, पुराना
शर्मा, ये क्या
कहानी.
होता है
थोड़ा सा इसमें काम का है. थोड़ा
ये
आगे
सब कुछ
जाएं
पढ़
क्या?
चुके हैं यार हम लोग.
अच्छा.
ये पढ़ लो. This group is also responsible for.
This group, that is the Indian Mujahideen, is also responsible for blasts caused in the courts in 2007 in Uttar Pradesh. We have identified 13 members of this module by now, and information has been shared with other states, including Uttar Pradesh and intelligence agencies. We will cooperate with all of them so that this entire module is caught. Intelligence sharing is very important. The, the investigation Bureau, the Gujarat Police, and the Rajasthan Police shared
एक मिनट रुको. Share sufficient intelligence with the special
sufficient intelligence with the special cell. The sharing helps in mapping the terrorists by various police agencies, as the state police can work based on intelligence obtained from other agencies, state police. We must all unite in the war against terrorism. We have to work meticulously in tracing the evidence and identifying and arresting other members of the Indian Mujahideen module. We have to trace the origin of the explosives. We have also got leads about the funding. After I was done addressing the media, a volley of questions was thrown at me. Question: Sir, are there reports that a 14-year-old boy was also part of this module? Answer: This information is floating on the basis of interrogation. This information is floating on the basis of interrogation in Gujarat, wherein a 14-year-old boy was mentioned as being part of the module. It was Sajid who died in the encounter. The information about his age is incorrect, and investigation has established that he was not a minor. What was the motive of this group in killing people? Was it to terrorize them? Answer: We have found enough material in Atif's computer to indicate that he was baptized by the philosophy of the Al-Qaeda. A good amount of material relating to the Al-Qaeda has been recovered, including photographs of Osama bin Laden. He was inspired by him. By the way, photograph of Subhan wanted in Gujarat blasts was also found in his laptop. Could the could Indian Mujahideen be considered a dead horse now? Answer: I will not say that. Two have died and two have been caught. We have to arrest many of them. Besides, the Surat group is yet to be uncovered. How is Abu Bashar, who was caught from UP by the Gujarat police, linked to the Indian Mujahideen? Answer: The interrogation of Abu Bashar made it amply clear that he had allegiance to Simi. The Nagori group of Simi had decided to take recourse to Terror Path and organized training camps for its members. Simi approached Indian Mujahideen through Takir Shubhan, who talked to Bhatkal and then Atif. Abu Bashar has told during the investigation that they had got communication with Indian Mujahideen and has also given details about that. Therefore, two groups, Simi and IM, have worked together. They formed a deadly combination and had the support of the Lashkar-e-Toiba. What is the profile of Atif? Atif was 24 years old. He was taking some course on human rights. He used to travel different places in India. He had contacts all over the country. He used to speak less He did not allow his group members to carry mobile phones with them during planting of bombs. A mobile was carried to Jaipur for making a video clip of the cycle with the bomb, but this mobile was devoid of any SIM card. Was there tenant verification done by the landlord? Answer: there was one Mohsin Nisar, who is an executive engineer working in Uttar Pradesh. This house is owned by him. His tenant is Abdul Rahman. They, Atif and his associates, approached Abdul Rahman through his son. They told Mohsin that a Jamia professor and two students wanted to hire the house. No verification form was received in the Jamia Nagar police station. They also prepared a lease deed on 25th of August that is also forged. Was there police station stamp on the verification form? Answer: the stamp on the verification form was also forged. Since you talked about the stamp, let me tell you something more. They traveled to Gujarat via train under assumed names. One such name was Rahul Sharma. When we asked Saif if he had gone to Gujarat, he denied it. We recovered a voter card in the name of Rahul Sharma having his Mohammad Saif's photograph. It was forged and had a stamp of the Election Commission. He was asked why he got this forged identity card. He purchased the SIM card on the basis of forged documents, and after huge bill accrues, he would throw the SIM card and never pay the bill. They had prepared forged identities for travel, etc. They were made on the computer. Does the
दादा,
Delhi? हाँ जी,
नवंबर के महीने में बॉम्बे में जो वो हुआ था, टेररिस्ट अटैक हुआ था, उसमें भी वो लोग हिंदुओं का नाम यूज कर रहे थे.
इसमें भी वही है राहुल शर्मा.
That means the handler of these people and them were all same.
Definitely.
ये अतर जबरदस्ती में उसको डिलेमिनेट कर रहा है, उसको जोड़ नहीं रहा है.
हैंडलर सेम नहीं भी हो तो they operate on the same principle कि हिंदू का नाम यूज करो.
Does the Delhi
Does the
module
Delhi
have any
module
connection?
have any connection with the Surat bombs? Answer: not the Surat bombs, but yes, Ahmedabad, Jaipur, and Delhi bombs were the handiwork of the Delhi module. We are still tracking the Surat module. How did they escape? There were two doors in the house. While the encounter was on, they managed to escape through the front door while firing at the police. There was an initial melee and the confusion that helped them, confusion that helped them escape. What is the role of Tawqir Subha and Abu Bakr? Answer: both are from Simi. They had organized training camps and gave lectures in jihad. Their role is very important. Simi has been planning for important individual targets and general targets. What are the names of 13 persons belonging to the Delhi module? Answer: Atif alias Bashar, who died in the encounter; Mohammad Sajjad alias Pankaj, who also died in yesterday's encounter; Sajjad alias Pappu; Junaid. Pappu and Junaid had escaped from the encounter place. Shadab Bhai alias Malik; Shadab Sajid, Bada Sajid; Mohammad Khalid; Arif, Zishan; Ahmad Shakil; Zia Khan; Ziaur Rahman; Salman. The name of the 13th person is not yet known. Why was
अच्छा,
Zishan?
ये लोग क्या करते हैं? ये लोग पढ़ाई वढ़ाई भी कर रहे होते हैं दिखाने के लिए.
हाँ. तो
वो
इसीलिए
यहाँ
लोग
पे
बोलते हैं
लगे
ना
थे
कि
किसान.
पढ़ाई कराने से आदमी जो है जिहादी नहीं बनेगा. दिस लॉजिक इज स्टूपिड.
नहीं, जस्ट फॉर द
बहुत लोग
सेक ऑफ
बोलते हैं ना
दैट दे आर
पढ़ाने.
स्टूडेंट ऑफ जामिया, उनको वैसे ही एडमिशन दिला देते कि हाँ ठीक है, दे आर स्टूडेंट, पुअर स्टूडेंट हैं.
नहीं, वैसे पढ़े लिखे लोग भी देखिए मेरे साथ भी जो है ना काम
हाँ,
करते हैं, इनका मन में लेकिन मैं मन टटोल कर देखा हूँ, अंदर अंदर वही नफरत है. रहता है भारत में लेकिन अंदर वही नफरत है, तो खुलकर
आगे.
बाहर आती है. Why was Zishan arrested? Answer: when Zishan was brought to the special cell office, he claimed that though he was staying with them, he was not aware of the activities. We told him if he was not involved, he would be allowed to go. We told him that his photograph will be sent to Gujarat to verify whether he was involved or not. After some time, he said he wanted to say something. Then he told us about his role at two places, Ahmedabad and Delhi. How many state police were working on the blast cases? Answer: every state police is working very hard. The Intelligence Bureau is coordinating with them, and each and every piece of information has been worked upon meticulously. To begin with, terror-related intelligence. To begin with, terror-related intelligence is not specific. It is very difficult to develop that distinct intelligence input and requires tremendous work. This information developed by Mohan Chand Sharma was not precise to begin with. Developing the information, ascertaining that the leads developed are in the right direction, that is, whether they are terror related or not, and then further following the leads and developing field intelligence is a long and tedious process. It is not like catching a criminal. The officers who have worked in anti-terror units understand how much labor and efforts are required in this area. Why was the National Security Guard NSG team sent to the spot? The NSG team answer: the NSG team was sent because I got information from Sanjeev that Mohan has received bullet injuries and terrorists are still holed up in the flat. I asked the police headquarters to send 5 companies of force and 1 platoon of commandos immediately, as we didn't know at that time what steps might be required to handle the terrorists. Do we surround the area or take some other steps? One has to think of such eventualities in advance, and hence the NSG team was asked for. Why were bulletproof jackets not used? Answer: Inspector Mohan Chand Sharma was no novice, as he had faced many difficult situations and led many operations, including the operation in Kashmir. He was an expert and perfectly knew what steps were to be taken. Not wearing a bulletproof jacket was part of his strategy to merge with the surroundings without being detected. If one goes for verification wearing bulletproof jacket, the person could be identified from a distance and the operation can fail. According to him, it was a perfect plan, knowing fully well that he was leading a team to catch a terrorist, and that too without putting on a bulletproof jacket. Mohan knew it could be fatal, yet he went there risking his life. Only a person who has a deep desire and ambition to serve his country would have the courage to take such a tough decision. We must appreciate his bravado. The press conference was over, and terms such as Batla House, the Indian Mujahideen, and modules became a part of household discussions. 21st of September 2008. बाकी उन लोगों के बारे में बता रहे, टीम के बारे में, उनके घर वालों के बारे में. The first major fight they had was on Friday morning when Maya, जो झगड़ा हुआ था मियाँ बीवी का. First major fight they had was on Friday morning when Maya asked him to stay back and take care of the son Divyanshu, 13, who was admitted in the hospital suffering from dengue. His platelet count had gone down to 20,000. Committed to his job, he fought with her and left for the encounter, promising to return early, she said. ये पढ़ो नहीं, इसमें थोड़ा बारीकी से डिटेल्स दिया गया है. इसको पढ़ना होगा तो ऊपर जाना पड़ेगा फिर.
वो अपने इंटरव्यू का पूरा वो दे रहे हैं, वो जो प्रेस वाले पूछ रहे हैं ना उनका वो दे रहे हैं.
Excerpts of the interview. The media was satisfied with our response, and we were transparent about our findings and leads.
एक मिनट रुक. यहाँ से however वाला.
However, a surprise awaited me the next morning. I received a call.
आ गया है क्या? हाँ ये.
I received a call from the Commissioner of Police conveying that the Home Ministry did not want us to indulge in any more media briefings about the progress of the investigation. Some sections of the political circle were upset about details tumbling out against terrorists belonging to the minority community. I argued in vain that terrorism did not have any religion, and as police officers, it was our duty to follow leads and apprehend terrorists irrespective of their faith. I knew that the repercussions of leaving a void for the media in such a critical case would be dangerous, as it could be filled with half-baked information or even worse, false and concocted stories. This surely was a recipe for information disaster. Only time would tell the impact this would have on holding up information with the media. बोलता है मत बताइए क्योंकि जो है माइनॉरिटी कम्युनिटी के बारे में मत बोलिए सर. इसमें वही सब डिटेल्स है. न्यूज़पेपर कटिंग से क्या क्या मिला, ये थोड़ा सा लीड.
ये थोड़ा पढ़ो, मजा आएगा. मतलब पब्लिक को देखो, ये पढ़ो. Many journalists यहाँ से पढ़ो.
Many journalists had started comparing the statements of different police agencies and were claiming that they were conflicting. The statements of Additional Director General of Police UP and Director General of Police Gujarat were based on the investigations done till the time they gave the statements, and further investigations had given more information, unearthing the network of the Indian Mujahideen. While the Indian Mujahideen, supported by the HUJI and LET, was the real operative. The logistics, that is the supply of RDX, before the arrest of Babu Bhai, were provided by HUJI, confirming the statement of ADGP UP. In the Gujarat blasts, logistics were provided by Simi, thereby confirming the statements given by DGP Gujarat. Therefore, the statements were not contradictory to each other, rather it was built on each state police subsequent discoveries and evidence. On the afternoon of 24th of September, Alok rushed to my office with a newspaper in his hand. He seemed very upset. Sir, please see the story. He handed over the newspaper to me. The newspaper claimed to have located two eyewitnesses who had anonymously shared a version of the encounter that rebut the account given by the Delhi police. These eyewitnesses apparently observed the sequence of events from the bathroom of a flat near L18 Batla House. They claim to have inside view of flat number 108 located on the fourth floor and the staircase of the building. They told the media that a member of the special cell first went up to the flat but landed into an argument with one of the inmates. Hearing this, the other
members of the police team rushed upstairs and dragged
Other
the
members
two
of the
men down.
police team rushed upstairs and dragged the two men down, and in the scuffle, Mohan got the bullet injury. Thereafter, the police team killed both the residents and dragged them up to the fourth floor along the stairs, while Mohan was taken to the hospital. According to eyewitnesses, Atif and Sajid were unarmed. Their bodies were then wrapped in a cloth and taken away. Thereafter, the police team brought three persons, including Mohammad Saif, from somewhere around or within L18. The story further claimed that the media had got the post-mortem reports of Sajid Atif and Mohan, and that as per the report, Mohan had got 3 bullets from the back, which were fired from a close range, not more than a few centimeters away. The article went on to say that the doctors performing the post-mortem attributed the injury marks on Atif and Sajid to a violent physical assault. This is false and baseless, I told Alok after reading the news. I was following newspapers and getting intelligence inputs from the Batla House area. People in the area had started raising questions on how the Delhi police could solve the blast cases within a week, while cases in other states such as Jaipur and Hyderabad remained unsolved. As time passed, the versions got wilder, and some people questioned why Jamia Nagar was the target when the actual culprits were hiding in areas such as South Extension and Prithvi Raj Road. What did it mean? Who was being referred to? I couldn't understand. If people knew of terrorists holed up in other areas, shouldn't they come forward with the information? Asad Ghazi, an NGO worker, claimed that this was a move to counter the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh BJP stand that the centre was soft on terror as elections were just a few months away. Opinions on religious and political lines were being spread as deep fact-based insights. Journalists started visiting. It seemed like neighborhood gossip was being presented as news by leading dailies and channels without any effort at fact-finding. Alok said, I'm also following these mischievous and misleading stories, but I don't give too much importance to them. But this story is upsetting. I cannot believe that such an absurd story can come out in the newspaper. My worst fears are coming true, Alok. The media is developing stories weaving in quotes from people. Since the media is not getting direct quotes from the government agencies, this is important. They do not have access to our findings and investigation. I responded, and my anguish was visible. We discussed and analyzed the points raised in the article. ये पढ़ना होगा सर. अच्छा ये देखिए 1 मिनट थोड़ा सा एक पेज ऊपर कीजिए सर. एक पेज ऊपर. Alok was right. The blasts in Delhi took place on the 13th of September. During this time, the political parties were developing strategy for the Lok Sabha elections, which were slated for early 2009. The national executive meet of the BJP was in progress from 12th to 14th September 2008. Their discussions were focused on the upcoming assembly elections in 5 states: Delhi, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Mizoram and Rajasthan around November-December, and the general elections the next year. Sri Advani and Gujarat Chief Minister Sri Narendra Modi were already advocating for stringent anti-terrorism laws. Sri Advani was about to address a public rally in Bangalore when he received the news of the serial blasts in Delhi. He rebuked the central government for not having an appropriate course of action to handle terrorism. He announced that the BJP would bring in the Prevention of Terrorist Activities Act within 100 days of coming into power. On 13th of September, the Congress organized a meeting in Delhi to discuss the electoral strategy. Prime Minister Sri Manmohan Singh had stressed the importance of dealing with issues of terrorism, Naxalism and insurgency. However, on 14th of September, Patil, the then Union Home Minister, ruled out the possibility of enacting quota. Sri Pranab Mukherjee, the then External Affairs Minister, added, there is no dearth of laws in the country. It is a question of effectiveness of the implementation. ये भी पढ़ना जरूरी है. Sir, on 22nd of September, Atif's and Sajid's bodies were accompanied by the Shahi Imam of Jama Masjid from the trauma center to the burial ground. He raised suspicion on how Mohan died and also claimed that one of the boys' terror accused was shot in cold blood. His exact words were, "I cannot understand how a 17-year-old boy, a student of 11th standard, can plot with Osama bin Laden and spread terrorism." Alok was furious in reading the false statement by the Imam. Well, we can only share the truth. Sometimes they believe what they want to believe, even if the truth is right in front of them. We need to keep track of the political developments and ensure false news do not derail the investigation. Alok, prepare an electronic and physical folder of all evidences that we have collected so far. Let us keep them handy. It may be of help in responding to people's questions. I got a call from Sanjeev in the evening. He briefed me about the investigation at Manipal. During the interrogation, Saif had disclosed that he, along with one of his associates, Mohammad Khalid, had gone to Udupi, Karnataka on 20th of August 2008 to procure the explosive material from someone called Shahrukh. On
छोड़ दो
2nd
छोड़ दो छोड़
September,
दो, ये मत पढ़ो.
तो वैसे तो काफी कवर कर लिया हमने.
ये पढ़ लो.
हाँ. Trying to take advantage.
I was sitting in my office one
I
day.
was sitting in my office one day when I saw Alok, Sanjeev, and a few other officers visibly upset. They said some politicians were trying to take advantage of the situation for vote bank politics. Sri Amar Singh, a leading politician of the Samajwadi Party, was making allegations against the police. On the one hand, this leader sent a check of rupees 10 lakh to Mohan's family. On the other hand, he was alleging the encounter to be fake, disturbed by the false allegations made by Sri Singh. Mrs. Maya Devi, Mohan's wife, refused to accept any financial help from him and returned the check. Mohan's wife. On 3rd of October 2008, I was discussing the latest developments with some of the journalists. They apprised me that the Vice Chancellor of Jamia Millia, Professor Mushirul Hassan, had made a statement that the university would provide legal aid to its students arrested by the police after the encounter. I expressed that it was absolutely shocking. He, a public servant, was heading a university and should have shown more accountability and responsibility towards the society and the government. How could he think of providing legal aid to terrorists? This may create a perception in the minds of the community and the students that they were wronged by the police. I was still in shock over the Vice Chancellor's actions when Alok came to my office. Sir, a petition has been filed in the Delhi High Court against the special cell. The High Court has directed the police to allow Ziaur Rahman and Sakir Nisar to meet their relatives and advocates in the evening and made it clear that the police have to provide similar access to other persons arrested in the case. The High Court also directed that the police can remain present beyond the listening distance. He told me with a degree of caution, which means that the police should not know about the conversation between them. We should provide access as denied by the High Court. I also wanted to meet the VC of Jamia Millia to explain to him about the incident. Please seek an appointment with him. What are the issues raised in the writ petition, Alok? Mainly related to DK Basu's guidelines. We will respond to the allegations in our reply as the team has followed all the guidelines strictly. Later, Alok informed me that senior advocate Alok also confirmed that the meeting During the same day, Sri Amar Singh visited Batla House and raised a demand for judicial probe into the encounter. He further stated that the then Home Minister be removed from office for not handling the Batla House issue appropriately. He threatened to withdraw his support to the UPA government. However, the Congress spokesperson Manish Tiwari took a balanced approach and said it is extremely inappropriate for a political party to take a stand on any police action, either in support or in opposition. अच्छा ये VC का रिपोर्ट देख रहे हैं आफ्टर सीइंग द रिपोर्ट ही वाज टेकन अबैक लिख रहा है जामिया का VC के साथ जो मिलने गए थे ये उसमें लिखा हुआ है आफ्टर सी providing the reports to the VC was taken aback. After seeing the evidences, he was taken aback. He appeared to be convinced of their involvement in terrorism. Following that, he made no efforts or comments in support of the students involved in terror-related activities. I appreciated that the VC took time to understand the issue with an open mind. The Batla House encounter issue was also put on public trial. On 12th of October 2008, a group of teachers from Jamia Millia Islamia set up a Jan Sunwai public hearing on the Batla House encounter. ये क्या मतलब kangaroo court है क्या? The jury comprised politician and social activist Swami Agnivesh, human rights and political activist John Dayal, and Delhi University professors Tripta Wahi, Vijay Singh, and Nirmalanshu Mukherjee. More than a dozen Jamia residents gave testimonies at that meeting. Relatives of Atif, as well as those who knew Sajid, spoke in front of the jury. Later, the jury gave its findings, which was basically तमाशा चल रहा था. Basically, प्रदीप जी प्रदीप भाई
हाँ दादा
थोड़ा बढ़ा सकते हैं इसको नहीं आप नहीं बढ़ा सकते हैं
नहीं मैं नहीं बढ़ा पाऊंगा
a repetition of what happened in some media reports and were already addressed and answered by us. A voice of barrage of questions. Most of the findings were devoid of merit. Kangaroo court बिठाया थोड़ा सा ऊपर उठाइए एक पेज ऊपर कीजिए एक पेज ऊपर पीछे पीछे On 14th of October, a new dimension was given to the Batla House encounter when a few senior politicians from the Minority Department, Indian National Congress, decided to send a delegation to meet Congress President Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. Next page, sir.
Wait.
And PM Dr. Manmohan Singh to raise a complaint against the injustice done to Muslims and to urge a judicial probe into the encounter. Sri Kapil Sibal, Minister for Science and Technology, along with other political leaders, visited the Batla House area before meeting Mrs. Gandhi and Dr. Singh. On the same day, Sri Mulayam Singh Yadav, the founder patron of the Samajwadi Party and Sri Amar Singh met Dr. Singh to ask for a judicial inquiry. Political pressure was building up from all sides. Sri Amar Singh visited the Jamia Nagar area to address a huge gathering on 17th of October. He was accompanied by Mrs. Mamata Banerjee of the All India Trinamool
इसके बिना तो
Congress.
काम ही नहीं चलता ना.
I watched their speeches in the news. She believed the encounter was fake and the terror accused were targeted because of their religion. She set a 72-hour deadline for the government to direct a judicial inquiry and asserted that she would not give up till the demands were met. Sri Amar Singh also spoke to the gathering and pointed out that Mohan was not wearing a bulletproof jacket. Encounter specialist बिना बुलेटप्रूफ जैकेट का आ गया. हर जगह जैकेट पहनी थी पर
खुदकुशी करने गए.
खुदकुशी करने आ गए. When he said this, the audience clapped and cheered. How insensitive this statement was. He also mentioned that he proposed to donate 10 lakh to Mohan's wife, Maya Sharma. He gave the reason for his proposal. गोली चाहे किसी की लगी हो, मरे तो.
बाप रे.
The people could be heard laughing. Yeah, the next morning, on the other side, the BJP was hitting out at Sri Singh and Mrs. Banerjee for engaging in vote bank politics on an issue of national security. Pressure was mounting on the government from all fronts. The government decided to देखिए यहाँ सफाई देना पड़ रहा है सर. एक पेज आगे सर एक पेज आगे. The recovered electronic data.
एक मिनट. क्या पढ़ो.
Karnal said. A few days later, I was sitting in office when the breaking news flashed on the television screen. Joint Commissioner of the Special Cell shunted out. I looked at the news in amusement and recalled a conversation I had with the Commissioner of Police a couple of days before. Karnal, you have spent almost 5 years in the Special Cell handling terrorism. I know it is a very challenging and demanding posting. Looking at your career, trajectory and future prospects, I believe you will benefit from range posting. These were the Commissioner of Police's words to me. Sir, you can post me anywhere. After a few days, my transfer orders came for me to join as Joint Commissioner of Police Northern Range with additional charge of the special cell. But of course, the news channels decided to edit the news and present only a partial picture. I laughed it off. How typical of the media to sensationalize this for their TRPs.
क्या तमाशा है यार.
On 7th of November, it went to the Delhi High Court. Delhi High Court issued a notice regarding media policy. कहाँ घुमाया इनको. Government had decided to confer Ashok.
हो गया. बंद करता हूँ इसको.
हाँ जी. We have covered almost everything and highlighted the relevant portions, showing the treacherous opposition and other parties.
जी दादा,
How they distort news.
ये आपने नेताओं की साठगांठ और उसके साथ जो न्यूज़ चैनल्स या जितने भी चैनल्स हैं, मतलब चैनल्स का मतलब मैं टीवी के चैनल्स नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, जितने भी प्रकार के
print
तरीके हैं
media
न्यूज़
सब।
के, हाँ, तो जो न्यूज़ चैनल्स जितने भी अवेलेबल हैं और
including
पॉलिटिशियन जो है
politicians.
कैसे मैनिपुलेट करते हैं इंफॉर्मेशन को कि पब्लिक जो है या तो
बेवकूफ बनता है।
नहीं, या तो अनइन्फॉर्म्ड रहती है, ठीक है, या
अनइन्फॉर्म से
मिसइन्फॉर्म्ड
ज्यादा
रहती है।
पब्लिक को भड़काया जाता है कि देखो तुम्हारा गवर्नमेंट जो है गलत है, तुम्हारे पुलिस वाले जो है गलत काम कर रहे हैं।
दादा आप इनका तरीका देखो, या तो अनइन्फॉर्म्ड रहेगी पब्लिक या मिसइन्फॉर्म्ड रहेगी,
जी।
इन्फॉर्म्ड ही नहीं रहेगी बस।
दादा बंद करो, अब 3 घंटे हो गए।
ठीक है दादा, इसको रैप अप करते हैं। तो जो भी हमारे ऑडियंस अभी देख रहे हैं उनका धन्यवाद हमें समय देने के लिए, और जो बाद में देखेंगे उनके लिए जो है एडवांस में धन्यवाद। और इसको जो अगर आपको कंटेंट पसंद आता है तो प्लीज़ इसको शेयर करिए, लाइक करिए, सब्सक्राइब करिए, और अगर जो है आपने अपना नोटिफिकेशन ऑन नहीं कर रखा है तो बेल आइकन नोटिफिकेशन ऑन करिए, बेल आइकन को दबाइए और ऑल पे क्लिक कर दीजिए ताकि सारी नोटिफिकेशन आपको मिल जाए। तो अगेन समय देने के लिए धन्यवाद, और इसके साथ हम समापन करते हैं। जय हिंद, वंदे मातरम, भारत माता की जय।
जय हिंद,
वंदे, जय हिंद, वंदे मातरम।
भारत माता की जय।